It's an artillery chart.
You're talking to a soldier here, and we know.
Yeah, you're not a sailor. Yeah, right. What were you, like a grunt? Not an artilleryman.
Yeah, you can may as well call. Basically.
I'm sorry, I missed you. Cut out. Are you a grunt, like a rifle soldier?
Yeah. You can call me an oily, basically.
So Jen, he just correctly described how the conservation of momentum applies to Coriolis.
We don't witness that on Earth whatsoever.
Yes, we do. You have he just told you. You have gunboats that shoot 30 miles. If they shoot 30 miles, it's off by 1,000 feet. 1,000
It has
feet
no basis
right.
in reality.
1,000 feet to the east if shooting north. Yeah. They see this. They have charts that depict that. You're right, and the charts are wrong.
May be there. The charts may be there, but we don't witness it on this Earth at all.
It's called hurricanes, you moron. Hurricanes.
Maybe.
Ever seen a hurricane?
About hurricanes. I've seen a hurricane.
Yeah. Why do they spin the direction they do? And why do they spin the opposite way in the southern hemisphere?
Not due to the spin of the Earth.
Why do hurricanes spin one way in the northern hemisphere and the other way in the southern hemisphere?
It doesn't prove the spin of the Earth.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. Okay, it doesn't prove it, but it is a pretty good demonstration of it.
It would mean airplanes would do that. Airplanes do
that. Airplanes do it. Airplanes do it to an extent. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Please provide the citations and the for that, then, please.
Yeah.
I want to see.
So an airplane flying from the north to the south would experience. They would notice it as a crosswind.
I want to see the evidence of that, please.
Minimally.
I want to see a satellite image of that aircraft being blown across the.
It's not being blown, you moron. Do you understand what the pilots do? You know, they sit there and they fly the airplane like driving your car.
Hold on. He just asked for a satellite image. Does that mean he accepts that satellites exist?
No, I don't. I say it because.
Oh, yeah.
Then why did you ask for a satellite image?
I asked for him.
Yeah, way to go, Jim.
You can't do it.
Why did you ask for a satellite image?
I asked for it because I know you won't be able to produce it. That's why I asked for it.
Yeah. You know, in order to do that, in order for an airplane to fly north to south, it has to gain the tremendous amount of speed of 70 miles an hour. You know, that's like snapping your head back to gain 60 miles per hour in an hour. You know, that would really snap your head back.
Are we not talking Earth turn now then?
Yeah, we're not talking Earth turn. Earth turn was proven by Bob Nodell. Go ask him.
Thanks, Bob.
To be video out Royal Marine with American Marine reportedly showing the Coriolis effect, and you know what he didn't? He did the east and west, but he didn't do north to south, which proven the Coriolis effect. And
east and west.
Okay, so he did the Atvos effect, which is kind of related.
He proved nothing. He proved nothing. Zero. Nada.
He actually demonstrated the Atvos effect.
He didn't even demonstrate that. It was just shit. Absolute shit. What he demonstrated.
Rise and fall.
He was supposed to be demonstrating the Coriolis, but he didn't demonstrate that. That's the point.
But he did demonstrate the Atvos effect, which also disproves with the Earth.
He didn't demonstrate the Coriolis effect, which was my point. He didn't
I find artillery guys have known this for 100 years.
He utmost powerful to the utmost level. Okay.
Paid NASA. Do you hear doofus?
Don't rename it.
Oh, Chemo. Hey, how you doing, you? Are you still?
How you doing,
welcome back, Chemo.
Pretty good. So what's your new proof that the Earth is flat today, please?
But first of all, do you hear doofus Manfred?
Hmm?
You hear doofus Manfred? You hear him?
No, he's very low.
Well, I hear him, but
right.
Doofus.
Right, gentlemen, I'm gonna have to love you and leave. I've got to go and do me law. Okay.
Okay, Jin didn't do his research. Got it.
Doofus, you're like at 50%. Can you turn up your move closer?
Turn the volume up.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, did he recreate the fucking experiment to see the Coriolis effect? What did he do? Get himself another planet and an atmosphere and that, and fucking whiz it around?
Are you talking to me? Chewing the book.
No Coriolis.
Either way, you're gonna need to
fucking show it because it's an effect.
You're talking to me or chewing a brick. Either way, you lose your teeth.
I'll chew you chewing a fucking brick, cheeky cunt.
Shut up! You're chewing bricks. Spit it out. Don't clean up your verbal diarrhea.
Can you guys speak English, please? We don't understand
Where
you.
Going?
I'll be back. We'll be back in an hour, 10 minutes or so.
All right, Jin, are we back?
Make sure you got yourself cleaned up, yeah, because you're a mess.
Keep fucking shit like you do.
Brian's been waiting patiently to destroy the globe now, I think.
Fucking
Brian, are you here? Might work.
Brian Mabbitt's going to... Brian Mabbitt can't destroy anything. Yeah. Brian, you can... If you think Brian can destroy something, then you are definitely smoking something.
He can destroy a drone.
Difficult to destroy
maybe.
It's difficult to destroy what
He can destroy my brain because he talks so stupid.
You're okay, Brian, anyway,
well, first,
on your path, have you found any globe proof or anything, Brian?
Well, how you Please tell me how you're going to prove the Earth with a drone. I like to hear stupid shit. Come on.
I'm saying on your travels, have you found any globe proof?
Oh yeah, several of them. You have any flat Earth proofs?
Flat Earth proof? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, please.
Like what?
Like what?
What do you want?
Tell me one.
The best one. The best one.
Well, we can observe the horizon. The higher you go, the horizon gets wider. You see more of it.
Okay, so welcome to the globe. Thank you. That's a globe proof.
Why? There's no curvature.
Because why you get to see higher when you go? Why you see further when you go higher?
There's more land there.
Why?
Because there's more land. If it was a board,
why? Why do you get to see more land when you go higher? You shouldn't be. If the Earth was flat, you shouldn't be able to see. You should see the same amount of Earth from the ground as you do from a high spot. The fact that you see further from a higher point proves the Earth is curved. Thank you very much. Welcome to the globe.
You keep saying that perspective limits how far you can see. Well, going up isn't going to change that, is it?
No, because when you go up on a ball, you'd have to look down to see the Earth, but on a flat Earth...
That's correct. And you can prove that too.
Look down to see the curve.
No,
you can prove that too.
Yeah.
So you can prove that too. You can prove that. That's called the Al-Biruni way that he calculated the Earth, and you could do that from an airplane.
Yeah.
Even more than he did from Al-Biruni did from a mountaintop. Thank you again. Welcome to the globe again. That's 2 for 2. What's the next one?
Well, that's the point. I'm trying to get you to understand that if on a flat Earth...
Hey,
But on a flat Earth, as you go higher, you see more land just looking straight
ahead. No, wrong.
Well,
from the flat Earth, you should be able to see just as far from the ground as you do from a high point, because there's nothing in the way.
Well,
perspective doesn't change when you go higher, does it, Chemo?
Let's think about it. I don't know what the roofs are like in America, because we have slanted roofs, slants like slates, right? So in order to see the bottom, if you're standing on top of the roof and you want to see the bottom slate, you've got to look down. If you go higher, you've got to look down, right? But if it's a flat roof...
No, I thought the horizon rose to eye level no matter how high you go. So thank you. And that's another proof of the globe. Thank you very much.
No, I didn't say that.
You're doing really well today.
I didn't say...
You should get a Ranty Award for this.
I didn't say horizon. I said you see more land. Yes?
I want to Well, the only way you see more land is if the horizon changes. So, like I said, so far you're 3 for 3. You're going to win a Ranty yet.
So let's go through this again. So if you want a ball... When you raise your elevation and you look forward, you would end up looking into space. There would be no land to look at, right? Because you're looking straight forward. Now, on a flat plane, as you go up, looking forward, not looking down. You don't need to look down at any point. You look straight ahead, and you will always see land. That doesn't happen on a ball, right?
Yeah. And you wouldn't see just as much land from the ground as you would from a high spot, and we see more from a high spot because we see further over the curve. Like I said, you keep on proving the globe, you're going to win a Ranty Award yet.
But you're saying,
actually, if you're up higher, doesn't that mean you're seeing even further because of the length to the ground?
Yeah, but on a globe, the idea is that the Earth would fall away. You're not going to.
It does. Thank you very much. And you keep seeing it, and then you have to look down. That's the Al-Biruni proof. You can prove that from an airplane. Like I said, you're 3 for 3. Keep on going, proving the globe. I love it. Chemo is a globe earther, so you're going to get a good Ranty Award for Flurfs trying to prove the Earth is flat and proving that the Earth is actually a globe.
So what we do, Page Shield, when we go and test this in reality, we
hey, Kimo, I can tap in here. I think if all this is true, does this mean they're done talking about the globe, the flat Earth, and they're ready to talk about the globe now?
I hope so.
All right, present when ready. Shit, let's go. Time is money, friend.
Put those two masters.
Is that Kimo's argument for why it's a globe?
He's always played both sides of the fence.
You know that guy's got.
Well, I have to. Chemo just gave 3 great proofs of why the Earth is a globe.
He knows them all. He knows all 100 proofs of why it's a globe.
What I described, Page Shield, would be proof of a globe. Yeah, so you're saying that as we go higher, the Earth should fall away, but we don't see that in reality, right?
Yes, you do. I mean, you can go up and measure it from an airplane with your cell phone.
Yeah, but why do we see more land looking forward?
Because we're seeing over the curve, you moron.
Yeah, but how do you see over the curve looking forward?
Because let me find a diagram for you. Because you appear to be such an idiot.
Show me a diagram.
As you go up, you have to look down to the horizon. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not mentioning the horizon, but you can if you want. I said you see more land. Now, obviously, if you're looking forward, you would look into space and not see more land.
Yeah, but we're talking a couple degrees, so your eyes can't determine it. But that's
NASA Shill is saying.
Oh, who's this? Is this
the curve? Is this paid NASA Shill? How many masters does it?
Oh, here we go. Here's look.
Go up.
Here we go. This guy is really obsessed with my educational level for some reason.
He is. He doesn't like the fact that you've got degrees.
Yeah.
There you go.
So where do we see the curve again? That's not curve you're seeing. You're just going up. So
That's curve.
Look down, right?
That's curve.
That's correct. As you gain altitude, you're having to look down.
That's correct. That's called curve. Yeah, look down by a degree or two.
Curve. That's called looking down towards the horizon.
Same difference.
That's how curve works when it's dropping away.
That's how curve moron.
No, that's
Did you
not
post
how
Yes, it is. You idiot.
No, it's not.
You're a complete total moron.
NASA, did you post something or
that's
no?
not how that
I
works.
can't find it. I'm looking
Results
for the
aren't gonna
picture of
get you
the
anywhere, Mr.
of
Two
the
master's degrees.
the flat
You
Earth.
liar.
Hey, Chill, why
Yeah,
don't
but
you
you
be quiet for a second and find your little doodle instead of interrupting yourself?
Because Rocky is talking and he's obsessed with me. So
Yeah, but just pull out your diagram
No,
so we see
I'm
what you're talking
pointing out
about.
that you're a deceiver.
But that's how curvature would manifest.
exactly.
No, that's how a flat plane would manifest.
Wrong.
No, it wouldn't.
Wrong.
Yeah, in an atmosphere it would.
Well,
wrong.
Okay, Rakia.
Sure it would.
Rakia, what is your reasoning for why that is how a flat plane would manifest?
Okay, Brenda, over a flat horizontal plane, when you're 2 foot above that, creating another horizontal, how far do you expect that horizontal line to be above the flat horizontal plane?
2 feet.
Hello, Brenda.
And as you gain altitude, would you expect that flat horizontal plane to be lower than your horizontal or higher?
It would always be lower.
Correct. Now, why does it appear higher, though, sometimes?
Why does what appear higher?
Well, why does the horizon appear to go towards eye level? We know it doesn't, but why does it appear to do that? Is that just how optics work over a flat plane?
I really don't know what you're referring to. On a flat plane, for a 6 foot person, their eye level, let's say it's at 6 feet, you extend the horizontal perpendicular to that person from there, that would continue to infinity and would never meet the horizon.
On a flat plane?
Yes.
That's not how optics work.
No, that is how optics work.
No, the ground appears to rise up and the ceiling appears to come down.
Well, yes, it would appear to.
At or around how, yeah, and that's what we see, right?
No, but it would, no, we don't. What we do see.
Yes, but what? Are you stuttering for a reason?
No, don't try to pick up Nathan's abusive tactic.
I'm not
Yeah. People stutter when they hear stupidity, Rachel.
Stuttering when
Yeah, because they're stuttering we stutter when we hear real stupid stuff like you say. That's why.
You stutter when your master's degree.
No, we stutter when we hear stupidity like you say. That's all.
I'm just pointing out deception.
So the way
the ground appears to rise up and the ceiling appears
but
to come down to the horizon.
That's perspective.
Yeah, we always have that, right?
That's perspective on both
Exactly.
a flat and a spherical.
Yeah, you got it.
Object.
There you go. It's flat.
The
Thank
difference would be.
you. I'm done with this person.
There would be a difference, though.
He doesn't want to hear that because his mind is already locked into his head is already locked firmly up his.
No, I've already proven my point.
No,
You're
you're
a
not.
liar.
Your head's so far up your ass you can only see forward if you have a plastic navel.
Can't think perspective, that's their fucking problem. They just don't know what it looks like. They have no conception of
Yeah,
perspective.
we know what it looks like. It looks just like what we see in reality. You guys just deny it because you can't.
That's reality with optics in an atmosphere over a flat plane.
No, over a globe because it doesn't work on a flat plane.
Not over a globe, Mr. Two-Man.
Wrong.
Something.
What degrees you have again?
Something that couldn't
Can you
happen.
name all 7?
Something that couldn't happen on a flat plane is for the moon to appear below your eye level, horizontal.
Now we're going to the sky and how optics work in the sky.
No, we're going to the globe and how optics look on the globe, like how the sun goes below the horizon at 30 degree or 30 arc minutes big, but you don't care.
It doesn't. Just
Yes, it does. Every day it does. Yes.
That could not happen on a flat Earth.
It couldn't.
Ricky, I posted a picture.
Optics are an amazing thing when you combine them with the atmosphere and light.
Well, by optics,
Straight
you just
to the
mean
moon.
perspective, right? You just mean
Take
perspective.
me to the moon.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to clarify. What you mean by optics is just perspective, correct?
Well, that's one part of it.
Well,
Yes.
what's the other?
You have atmospheric lenses.
Magnification pulls the image towards you.
You have mirages. You have optical illusions. You have all types of things.
Sun moves the wrong way here if the Earth were flat.
Of the atmosphere.
Ricky, can you look at my picture?
Telescope.
Depends on if you're looking down a hallway, if you have a tree line, if you have foreground and background issues. All types of effects are created by that.
Why do you think we invented telescopes and binoculars? So we can bring
You have a
images
cloud
towards us.
layer. You have a blue skyline with a low
So we
cloud
can
layer, a blue skyline with a high
change
cloud
the
Can you
layer.
bring the sun
You
back
have a
once it starts
mountainous
setting
area.
below the
If you're
horizon?
looking out over water, all that makes a difference. Yeah.
The sun's a bit of a problem, especially here with the picture I just posted. It moves the wrong way if Earth were flat.
Yeah, that is a refutation of flat Earth.
Yeah. It happens every single day again. Moves left instead of right.
Can flat Earth account for that phenomenon? That's an observed phenomenon. Can you account for it?
I have a picture of it. Hang on, one sec.
Yeah, the sun in my area where I live in central United States will appear, especially in the wintertime, to go left to right as it's making a circuit above me.
Right.
As it goes away from me. And in the summertime, it sets even further to the right.
I think you're missing the point, Rakia. Look at the
I
curve
think
of
you're
that.
missing the
Look
point.
at that picture I posted up.
Curve?
And tell me what the problem. It moves the wrong way. Rises in the
Moving in a straight
from the
line.
it rises from the wrong direction and it sets in the wrong direction if Earth were flat.
What are you talking about?
They're trying to make you to say that the Earth is also the sun, and it's not.
No, the Earth isn't. Nobody thinks the Earth is the sun.
There you go. Sun setting in the wrong direction, southwest.
Sunset. Nothing to do with Earth.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Well,
No,
you can see the shadows on the ground on the street there, so it's definitely the sun because it's casting shadows in that
It's not the
direction.
Earth.
Yeah.
When
So
people
it's
are-
the sun.
Yeah, they're taking observation of Earth, not the observation of the sun.
But it's moving the
Oh, here we go. Yeah,
the wrong
hey,
way.
no, we have to ignore the sun and the stars because they don't conform to
Yeah,
what the
of course,
flat Earth would
of
say. Therefore,
course,
they have
yeah.
to be ignored. That's what
Yeah,
that's what Rocky is saying.
Inconvenient truth.
Please don't show me anything that proves that the Earth is not flat because I will ignore it because it proves the Earth is not flat.
So let me get
Or
this
just
straight.
look up the
We
definition
went
of
from
astronomy.
paid NASA shield
Double
lying.
jeopardy.
Yeah,
Now
keep
when
on
you go
talking to
up,
me.
You have to look
See,
down
I got-
over, as he interrupts
Yeah,
me.
I got something.
I'll
here.
interrupt
We
you when
went
you
away
talk
from
shit.
him lying about his master's degree.
Yeah, you
and
see,
how
he's so obsessed
the
with me.
horizon
You're so
drops
obsessed
into
with
the
me.
Guys,
altitude
just talk one at a time.
to now
So
we're
obsessed with
the
me,
sun
you
appears
stupid
to
shit.
set.
That's
this is-
chill.
Listen
You're
to
terrible
this
at
guy.
this.
He's on here
One at a
day and
time.
night lying to y'all.
Okay, shit talk is
I'm
boring.
lying. No. Everything that comes out of your mouth, Rocky, is a lie.
Yeah,
Okay.
while accusing others of lying, which obviously I'm not lying. I'm
You're
just
obviously lying because you don't know what
Yeah,
the fuck you're
I
talking
didn't lie
about.
about my
How can you tell if
master's
Rocky's
degree. I don't
lying?
have
His
it.
mouth's open.
All right, so I got taken to task for making up, supposedly using my own definition of the words. Like, what is your guys' definition or understanding of astronomy? Is that the study of Earth, or
That's
study of
dumb.
everything
It's
beyond Earth?
looking at the stars through a big telescope or a little telescope, even. Either works.
Or not even a telescope.
Yeah, you could use your eyes.
Okay, but it's not the study of Earth, right? Is that what you're getting to?
Nope.
Sleeping
entirely,
Warrior post
no,
about
it's not.
Coriolis. Oh, hold on a second. I gotta go.
The
I gotta
study
go.
of Earth-
Stupid Warrior just posted a thing about Coriolis. It should be funny. I'll be back.
Yeah. So my understanding of
Geology
astronomy
would be the study of Earth.
Yeah, the astronomy is a study of everything in the universe beyond Earth's atmosphere.
Outside in space. Yep.
Okay. So, and also the only hypothesis that I've ever heard of astronomy is called the rare Earth hypothesis, which means they basically factor Earth out because Earth breaks the mold. It breaks the model. So they have to pretend that Earth doesn't exist to maintain this idea. So when I
Well,
hear
that's news to me. I'll have to look it up.
Well,
Okay. And then
so
one more thing.
There's nothing wrong with. There's nothing wrong with
one more
including.
thing. Got one more thing. Okay. When I hear someone tell them that they can see the sun, and the sun is telling them what Earth is, that reminds me of astrology, where they're somehow gaining in the stars are speaking to them and telling them information.
Nobody in astronomy thinks the stars.
No, looking at the sun from where I am would still be astronomy technically.
Yeah, but it has
Not
nothing to do with the
astrology,
Earth, though.
astronomy, as in the study of the things in the sky, the lights, as you people call them.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Angels.
That's where we
Angels.
disagree, right?
So Crit.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible to study the Earth as an astronomical body?
If you're from another planet.
No. You can study Earth as an astronomical body
from another planet.
No, you don't have to be from another planet. You can just study the Earth as it is, as an astronomical body. For instance, its rotation, its period of revolution, as aphelion and perihelion, how it relates to the other planets, how they influence it and it influences them, how the sun influences the Earth. All of those things could be part of astronomy. They're not part of geology. It's not part of the Earth's rotation about the sun isn't a part of geology. It's a part of astronomy.
Yeah, and that right there is why they have the rare Earth hypothesis.
I don't know anything about that. I'm not familiar with that. But, you
have to ask him to explain it, and he can't explain anything.
The point is,
sure, I can.
The point is,
right here, it is right here. I call your bluff and I raise you. So yeah, in the rare Earth hypothesis, in planetary astronomy or astrobiology, the rare Earth hypothesis argues that the origin of life and evolution of biological complexity, it goes on to explain more things, is incompatible with all observations.
Right. We have yet to observe any other exoplanet that is comparable to the Earth on which life has also evolved. So,
but it should have happened by now, though. That's what the problem they have.
We haven't. No, we have just only had the ability to even detect exoplanets recently.
Yeah, I got you, and that's why they say that Earth is completely unremarkable. The sun is unremarkable, yet somehow it's so remarkable that it is so unique. It's so rare that it doesn't make any sense. So they just call it the rare.
Yeah, we don't know the conditions that are absolutely necessary for life to begin on a planet. So we've detected like large planets around other stars that are. We haven't detected any with oxygen yet, though. At least it's not that I'm aware of. I could be wrong, but we haven't detected any of those. So we don't have any way of forming a statistical average or likelihood of what is necessary for there to be even just microbial life on a planet. We just don't know.
How about what was Newton's
I think a better
hypothesis?
way to say that would be our sample size is too small to jump to any conclusions at this time.
Yeah, and
How about
the presence of oxygen is irrelevant. Life does not have to depend on oxygen.
Well, we think it would. I think if I were looking for life, though, I would place my bets on a planet with oxygen. I mean,
No, because
I
I wouldn't.
I would
No,
place my
I would
bet
not.
there. It would be the most likely.
Because there are forms of life on Earth which are not dependent on oxygen.
Yeah, it's actually likely that the forms of life that began on this planet did not require oxygen. Oxygen is very toxic.
Okay.
You have to evolve mechanisms to.
That's
be
fair.
able
That's
to
fair.
handle it.
It started off as anaerobic, right? Life form.
Yeah, that would be a good way to think of it.
Yeah, the Cambrian? I'm pronouncing that wrong. The
Cambrian?
There we go. Cambrian explosion. Where
No,
they
that
said that
was-
things breathed carbon monoxide first, and then at some point.
Breathe carbon monoxide.
I think
No.
we're talking. I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe we're talking even before the Precambrian explosion. We're talking about microbial life. By the time of the Precambrian explosion, we had multicellular organisms already. They were mostly
What exploded?
They were mostly invertebrates. By explosion, they mean an explosion in different body plans. That's what they mean. They don't mean a literal explosion. And most of that life was invertebrate. That's why there isn't much of a record, because invertebrates don't always fossilize. Right. So the point is still that Earth can be the subject of study for astronomy. Astronomy is simply the systematic study of the universe, right? And it could be the Earth's place in that universe. The cosmos.
Can I ask a tangent question? So, Crit,
Please do.
So, Crit, when you proposed astronomy versus astrology, why'd you do it?
What was your takeaway so far? That may I can felt.
I just want to know why you compared astronomy to astrology.
Okay, what did I say first? That
I think you're trying to poison the well. Is what I think you were trying to do.
No, I'm kind of curious why you compared astronomy to astrology. You have to know why you did it, right?
I say? Yeah,
you don't just do random things, right?
Yep. And what was your takeaway first? What words did I use that you? I said something about gleaning. Gleaning something
about astrology, the stars talk to you, but astronomy,
gleaning the nature
don't talk to you.
Okay, I said gleaning the nature of what? What did I say?
I remember. I don't write down everything you say.
I said gleaning the nature of creation. Does that sound? So
no,
I compare
you didn't say anything about gleaning the nature of creation.
I did.
No, you just said no, you didn't.
Yep.
No,
you can rewind it back if you want to.
Okay, Crit. So how
you
do
rewind
we?
It back,
Hold on for a sec. Hold on. I'm not done. So you're not going to answer my question.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's your answer. Right. I can compare the two when somebody says they can use one or the other to glean information. The stars are speaking to them about the nature of creation.
And that's silly, right? You agree? You agree that astrology is silly, right?
No, I wouldn't agree with that. I've seen some. Yeah, I would say it's just if you were to say which one's more silly, astronomy or astrology, it would be kind of like a fool's errand at that point.
So, well, what is it?
For a sec,
dramatically different, right? Like if you had a collection of chickens.
Hey, Zan, can you let Scott finish with Crit before you jump in?
Yeah, go for it.
No, it's over. Go on. What's the next question?
I think Scott.
No, I'm done with Scott. Go ahead. Ask the chicken bones one.
Okay, then you can let Scott speak. Okay.
So you're not going to answer you're not going to tell me why you seem to imply that astronomy was somehow better than astrology, or did you not do that?
Okay, chicken bone question now.
What is it?
Go ahead.
What on earth is a chicken bone question?
So,
someone said something chicken bones. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. So if you have somebody who has a pile of chicken bones, you can examine those bones and determine that it's a chicken. That's not the same as looking at the pattern that they're in and trying to predict the future, right? Like there's two very different things when you're comparing astrology to astronomy. One is the study of the stars and their relationships, and one is the assertion that there's somehow a relation between those things and people's behaviors and fortunes. They're two entirely different things.
There's a deeper question there, Zant. Astronomy assumes the stars exist.
So what I would get to compare those together is that.
So are you?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That the stars exist.
Okay. So when I was getting to with that is that say the chicken bone thing, right? Where they look at information.
I was going to answer your questions and not answer mine because
I tried to answer yours 3 times and it went all over your head.
You guys all see how
go ahead. Go
questions in which he can play with these pseudo facts better instead of actually dealing with what he talked. I am going ahead. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. I'm talking about
your question.
Because it's not interesting to hear what you say. It's more interesting to talk about.
Sure. Go ahead. So you asked me a bunch of questions and didn't want to hear the answers. Okay, fine. Now I'm talking to Zant.
Yeah, Scott, I mean, this is typical for Crit. It's his norm.
I know.
Okay, yeah, there's more Crit stuff.
Normal people do.
Yeah,
I know. I'm basically
Zant asked me
trying to help you all see how I see this.
Yeah, completely lame.
Maybe it's not
Crit, can you stop over talking everyone else?
No, you're not going to talk to me like I'm not here. That's.
I am.
You're over talking other people.
Yeah, I'm
already.
already.
You didn't want to engage with Scott. You said you were done with him.
Yeah, he can't help it. He can't help himself.
Since you don't want to engage,
all these observations about everything that you know nothing about. This just helps me prove that you guys have no idea what you're talking about. Because I know you have no idea what we're talking about when you talk about me.
To whom are you proving it?
Yeah, right away. I know that the next thing you say is going to be wrong.
Whom are you
because you already said something wrong about me. If you're willing to lie about me, I know you're willing to lie about anything. Some stranger on the internet.
Proving it?
Yeah,
you don't
I got
understand
you.
the question, do you? You literally
sure. I don't. There it
question.
is, right there. I don't understand the question because this
To
shit you're
whom
talking
are you
about
proving
has
it?
nothing to do with the conversation at hand.
You really don't understand there's other people in the world, do you?
Yeah. Okay, sure. Go
You
with
really
that
don't
too.
get that, do you?
Yeah, I don't. I don't understand that either. Okay, now we'll go
You
on.
don't
to
understand what a community.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going. What other claims do you want to make
don't
about me?
understand
Can
what a
someone
conversation
please moderate
is, do you?
crit?
Yeah, go ahead. What else do you want to say? How about this?
You guys all see this, right?
Why don't we have this?
You guys all
Let's
see
have
this
it
at a
out.
fundamental
Let
level. You
everyone just
cannot
say
have a
whatever they want
conversation.
about crit for the next 10 minutes, and then we can move on to actual conversations like adults do.
You aren't capable of having a conversation. Literally. You cannot.
Yeah, sure. I got you. Okay, so there. Stop asking me questions then.
Another person's
You already
perspective.
debunked yourself because you say I can't have a conversation, but you keep asking me questions. What is wrong with
I'm
the
not
way
asking
your
you
brain
questions.
works? Okay, well then, don't worry about it then, because I was already talking to Zant, and now you basically
It was
tried
actually
to derail.
a rhetorical device to show everybody else that you
Yeah,
cannot.
well, there.
you
Okay,
cannot
sure.
answer a
There.
question.
Everyone else sees this, but you. Okay, we got it. There you go. Now I'm talking to Zant, and I've had plenty of conversations with Zant in the past. So now it seems like
think
you're
you
only.
have.
Well, oh, okay. How about this?
I'm sure you think you have.
Okay, let's test this claim right now in real time. You still there, Zant?
All right, go ahead, Zant. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Try to have
Have we had pleasant conversations in the past?
Good luck, Zant. By the way, Zant is Canadian.
Conversations, I suppose.
Okay, they interrupted you. Can you say it again, please?
Yeah, you've been pleasant in the past. That doesn't mean you've been correct.
Oh yeah, that's the whole idea, though, right? Just to share ideas. So at least these top two idiots they got debunked in real time by someone on their own side. So at least
get away from the media, from the meta, please. Just
okay. So now the chicken bone thing, right? So my understanding of this is basically almost what people did in the past, like especially the guy who came with the Big Bang Theory. He tried to look at some stuff in the sky, the way it was organized, and said, "Hey, God caused a Big Bang."
no, he didn't do that.
No, that's not what happened.
Oh, okay. What was your takeaway from that event then?
He was a physicist, and he made an inference based on the current knowledge that if you run the equations of physics backwards, the universe comes down to a single, what he called a proto-atom, I think, or something like that. Today we would call it a singularity. And then when the Pope said that he wanted to use that to argue for religion, he specifically wrote to him and told him, do not try to use this because it doesn't confirm religion, specifically Catholicism.
Yeah, then you could say that, but then you look back at all these other heliocentric ideas, Copernicus and Newton, and maybe not Newton, but Galileo. All these guys were high-ranking members of the Catholic Church. They're not going to come out with some sort of weird stuff that actually proves.
Do you understand that people can have ideas that are independent of their religious beliefs?
Yeah, until you look at this guy was an ordained Catholic priest who his whole life was dedicated.
Wait. Galileo almost went to jail and was killed for his beliefs. You know that, right?
Yeah.
No, we're talking about the Big Bang right now.
But you mentioned Galileo, and he was put under house arrest by the Pope for his scientific beliefs. And Messier, who was the originator of the Big Bang idea, right? He was a priest, but that it doesn't follow that because he's a priest that everything he says is a conspiracy by the Catholic Church.
Never said conspiracy. I just said they're looking through the lens that they dedicate their whole life to.
Yeah, but people don't do that. People
they actually do that.
No, they don't. People can.
Okay, I disagree with you.
Just a minute. People can be objective. People can compartmentalize away their religious beliefs or their political beliefs, and simply pursue, say, for instance, scientific, mathematical, or philosophical ideas independent from their social or political or religious beliefs. They can do that, and they do that.
Yeah, I would say normally that would be the case, unless someone has dedicated their whole life. And this guy never married, never dated, lived all just in the company. Okay, so this is an extreme example.
No, I don't think it's an extreme. I think He was being as objective as it was possible for him to be at that time. He made a I don't know if it was a theory or if it was a paper. I don't know the details, but it was based on the science. It was not based on his religious beliefs.
Well, it wasn't going to debunk his religious beliefs. Is that what if you're thinking that? Because I would say, like, no.
In a way it does, but it debunks some religious beliefs. The point is, people can be objective. They aren't always objective, but they can be, and objectivity can be in degrees. People can be very prejudiced based on their religious beliefs and never accept any evidence that contravenes their religious belief, say flat Earth or young Earth creationists. Those people will never accept any evidence that contravenes their religious beliefs, right? But other people can moderate their beliefs, and they can be more objective or less objective.
Yeah, and normally I would agree with you if it's just the average person on the street just kind of doing their thing. But when you got somebody who identified as a Catholic priest, worked their way up through the system, basically lived a lifestyle completely outside. It's almost like those philosopher kings. I'm trying to blank on the guy who said.
Well, he was a. I don't know much about his life. I guess I don't much.
That Plato, right?
I just think that you're saying he had philosopher kings, but he was. Messier was not a philosopher king.
No, I'm saying, like, who's the guy who talked about philosopher kings running society?
Plato.
Okay, there we go. So in a way, that's kind of what Plato was talking about. Was that these Catholic guys who completely separate themselves from society.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
Okay, well,
Plato's Republic envisioned philosopher kings who ran society as a dictatorship, and that's
but they never married. But they were outside of society at the same time to remain objective.
Right, but the point
they didn't have kids, so they wouldn't have to worry about this person. Like, if the person has a family and kids, of course they're going to care about school or public school when their kids are in school. But once their kids leave school, also they don't care about public school anymore.
Right? You're talking about the Jesuits.
Yeah, of course he is. He's got a.
No, I'm not talking about the Jesuits at all. I'm talking about the Catholic Church.
He's got a.
You're talking about the Jesuits.
No, that's not the same thing at all. Okay, there's a lot. I'm talking about the Roman Catholic Church. Okay,
Which the Jesuits are part of.
Okay, yeah, he's got. I have no idea. I've heard people say the word Jesuits, and for me, I've tried to look it up. It's something to do with like the Middle Ages.
What Jesuits are?
You don't know what the Jesuits are?
No. Let me.
Go look it up.
They dedicated themselves.
I don't believe
learning
you.
about the world.
Pretending he
doesn't.
No, I
do not believe that you don't know who the Jesuits are.
Yeah. Okay. This is what I think the Jesuits are. What I've read about, they were a secret group. Catholic warriors.
Wrong. They're not secret. They're anything but secret. They're so secret. They're so secret.
The Knights Templar, right?
No, the Knights Jesuits.
The same thing, right?
Right. The exact same thing.
He was saying they were secret before they were unsecret.
So, Crit, it sounds to me like what you have is a irrational bias against either Catholic priests or Jesuit priests, and that because Messier was one of them, you think that his belief in the Big Bang was in line or somehow serving the Jesuit or Catholic theology, and therefore you're against it.
Okay, are you saying that the Jesuits? I just looked it up. The Society of Jesus. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Society of Jesus.
Okay, so the Society of Jesus is the same thing as the Catholic Church.
No, they're not the same.
Okay, so was like George LeMay, was he a Jesuit or was he a Catholic?
LeMay?
Yes, he was both.
He was both. Okay, I never heard that before.
Whoa! He was a Catholic. He was not Jesuit.
Okay, there we go. I'm not even talking about the Jesuits. Why would you even bring it up? My understanding was
Dimitri was a Jesuit.
He was an ordained Catholic priest.
That's correct.
Okay, so what? So what?
No, he was not part of the Jesuit order.
What is your evidence? You need evidence to show.
Yeah, I need evidence right now showing he was the Society of Jesuits.
No. That's not what I was going to say. You interrupted me too soon.
Okay.
What evidence do you have that his religious affiliation influenced his scientific conclusions.
Okay, so the first thing I got is basically the Plato's philosopher king thing. That these are people who separate themselves from the rest of society to try to not be biased in their pursuit of knowledge.
He wasn't a philosopher king.
Okay, well, I would compare him to the almost like a version of that, because this guy,
you're incorrect.
He never married, right? He
So
never
what?
dated. This guy lived
he's
basically.
a Catholic priest, you idiot.
So in Plato's Republic, the philosopher kings were at the top of society. They controlled society. They were supposedly a benign dictatorship. They knew best how the society should be run, and so they dictated how society should run.
Yeah, it didn't shake out that way. That was his idea, but really how it shook out was that people started putting themselves in like tiers of groups or societies that they volunteered to join. So like the Catholic priest said, I want to be part of this group and I will abide by the rules and regulations.
So is this part of your evidence showing that his religious beliefs influenced his scientific conclusions?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's exactly.
and how does this show that influence?
Okay, because basically, if he were to say this is all about science, it wasn't about the nature of creation. He wouldn't have been a Catholic priest in the beginning.
What are you talking about? You know who the Jesuits are. Do you know what they do? Why don't you read some more about the Jesuits?
Okay, I will, but not right now. It seems kind of boring.
Well, no, because right now you need to read more about the Jesuits before you come up and say what they believe and what they don't believe. Because you don't know.
Yeah,
you're talking out your ass right now.
I'm talking about Catholic priests is what I'm talking about right now. I actually grew up Catholic, so this idea that I don't know anything about Catholic is
well, you didn't know about the Jesuits. Some good Catholic you are.
That is really kind of hard to believe.
I just say, especially you didn't know about the Jesuits. My God, they only have like schools all over the place. Anything named Xavier or Loyola or anything like that is all about the Jesuits. But they're a secret order, according to you.
I thought you were talking about the Knights Templar thing.
Are you not telling us the truth, Crit? Are you not telling us the truth?
About what?
That you didn't know about Jesuits, having grown up Catholic, probably gone to Catholic school. This is the first time you've heard about Jesuits?
Okay, so this idea that somehow that Catholic people all have this hive mind atheist mentality is completely wrong. There's lots of different understandings of the way Catholic
you know about one of the major groups within Catholicism.
Okay. How about this? When I went through catechism, no one ever said the word Jesuit about any time, at any place, anywhere. It had nothing. It wasn't even a topic. Okay, the first time I heard about Jesuits was here, basically, when people talk about flat earthers don't like Jesuits.
I bet,
like, who the hell are the Jesuits to begin with?
I bet if we knew the name of the school that you went to.
You want me to try and dox me now?
No, I bet.
I'm not trying to dox you. Just tell the name of the Catholic. What was the name of your parish?
No, that was interesting too.
I bet it was named after a Jesuit.
Maybe, I don't know. I didn't really follow it after I moved out of the house, and even when I was younger, I was like the youngest of fourth. My sister is like 7 years older than me, so it wasn't really. We didn't really do much Catholic stuff anyway. I just thought Catholic meant Christian for a long time until I finally met other people in high school.
That was basically true for a long time.
Yeah, like about 1,500 years.
Oh, he was like,
you know, 1,500 years.
Yeah, so the first time I ever heard people talk about this idea of Jesuits had to do with some sort of conspiracy to the Knights Templar, and they really knew about creation. And I was like, yeah, this stuff's all kind of boring. I didn't really care about it. It was mentioned again today, where somehow the Jesuits are an order of society.
I just want to bring this back.
Are you talking about monks?
I just want to bring this back to you showing me that I forget his name.
George
Lemaitre. That his beliefs in religion influenced his scientific work.
Yeah.
Listen,
straight up.
Moron. The guy came up with the Big Bang 15 billion years ago. You idiot.
Yeah,
I'm
straight up.
Oh, here we go. Montreal. Let's talk about stupid. Here comes Montreal.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah, here comes idiot Montreal saying some shit. We all know that he's anti-Jesuit.
You know nothing. Shut the fuck up.
Look who's talking. Look who's talking. My
I
God.
don't think that's very helpful. And
Hey,
they,
NASA Shield, do you ever open your mouth and not discredit someone or put them down?
No, and not when you
Those
say
are two
stupid
massive
shit like you do, Rocky
never
Rocky.
tried this. No. See, you did it
Shield
again.
is a fucking
If,
idiot.
if you would say
The
stuff that
biggest
wasn't,
clown on the
if you would say stuff that was true, I wouldn't have to go against you. However, you in Montreal both say all sorts of shit that is just out patently false.
So that guy you were talking about, he didn't come up with the Big Bang.
No, he did. Yeah, and
Yeah, he
actually, the
did.
Big Bang was
It wasn't 1,500 years ago, though.
It was a pejorative. The atheists at the time made fun of him.
Hey, yes again.
15 billion years ago. That's your fantasy.
14
He didn't call it Big Bang. Big Bang. He didn't call it Big Bang at the time. The Big Bang was people making fun of it, and it kind of
Okay, none of the crime, none of that is even relevant. What is relevant is, so we don't just science doesn't just accept something as soon as somebody says it, right? They look at the evidence supporting it. So the evidence supports his assertion, right? We found evidence of the Big Bang or something very, very similar to the Big Bang occurring, right? That's what matters. It doesn't matter whether or not his religious beliefs influenced him, or whether or not he whatever religion he believed in or anything like that.
Right.
None of that matters.
No, I would say
What
this.
matters is the evidence.
Okay, I would go there. This is basically them using. Okay, here it is. Ready? I got you. Okay, this is basically him using his understanding of science and his understanding of religion and his understanding of creation.
It's not a story. It's a scientific theory. There's a big difference between a theory and a story. Get it right?
Yeah. Okay. Sure. You could call it the Big Bang theory, but how have you
it's a scientific theory? It's not a guess. It's a scientific theory.
Okay. Sure.
And the theory makes a prediction. The prediction is that we would see cosmic background radiation of a certain type. We looked for it. We found it, and that tends to confirm the theory.
Yeah, but the other thing too, though, it says that you wouldn't see black holes, though.
Yes, you would.
In his theory, he said about
nothing prohibits
they
black holes.
contradict
It's
each
not
other.
even a theory. Get
It is a theory, moron.
It's a scientific theory. It makes a
Shield,
prediction.
Shut the fuck up, you
It makes
clown.
a
If
prediction.
you would say, if you stop saying incorrect shit, I'll be quiet, Montreal. But you're just saying something incorrect. It is a scientific
No, you
theory.
won't. You can't shut up.
I can shut up. If you would say stuff that wasn't false, I would not have to interject.
Well, you have
You're
to wait
lying,
till they're done talking, though, because
No, and you gotta stop them as soon as they stop lying. You gotta call
No,
them.
we don't do that
He's
here.
a piece of shit
Yeah,
human
we're all
waste.
calling you out, paid NASA Shield.
Yeah, go ahead and call me out. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're just calling people dumb and morons. Just
Well, you are dumb and you are a moron. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
see,
That's
what
not
you're
name
doing.
calling either. That's
You're
demonstrable
breaking
fact.
in to do it, and you're lying about people about your several degrees and 2
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah. Go. You're obsessed with my education level. I know.
Yeah, I
They
said
want to discredit because they can't argue against you. They need to
Exactly.
discredit
That's
you.
fine, and I can live with it. You know.
Okay,
And,
that's
I
like
kinda-
shoelaces.
ad hoc.
it's kind of a badge of honor when you get
But
called.
this fucking asshole, all he does is insult. And every
Here
time
we
I
go.
get a chance, I'm
There
gonna
we
call
go.
him a
I don't ad hom people. I just call them
moron.
fucking
You
assholes.
are a fucking moron, Pink Shield. You are born stupid. You're gonna die stupid.
Oh God.
You are just an idiot.
Thank you.
Drag this back to the topic.
Thank you very much.
One thing that's interesting about the Big Bang is that two people independently came up with the same idea. You'd think if it were something that was just made up out of someone's head, it would be just that one guy.
yeah. So what I'm looking at here is like there's lots of different resources, so you probably have to go through a lot of them. Probably some of them argue the case either way, but it says some of these it says the black hole and general relativity or Big Bang and general relativity, they contradict each other.
No.
That I mean, you could probably there's lots of different opinions on both sides.
No.
So
Black
I'm not going to
holes-
say
black holes don't refute general relativity.
no the other way around. The Big Bang would refute black holes.
How?
So that
Incorrect.
your
How?
black holes and Big Bangs are
How?
contradictory. Yeah,
How?
hold on.
Why are you saying Big Bangs as in plural? What is Big Bang? What is the Big Bang
That
theory?
the black hole would cause it would be a Big Bang.
No, it's only one Big Bang.
Read into it.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
There's one Big Bang.
I know quite a lot of shit about this, and I've never ever heard that a black hole is Big Bang. So if you can clarify, that would be wonderful.
What went bang?
Yeah, supposedly that's what
Your
happened.
brain.
It was. They say that the Big Bang was a white hole or the opposite of a black hole.
No, who is saying
Yeah,
that?
look at some stuff in the chat.
He pointed to.
It's saying that. Beautiful, nice rebut by the ballers. The ballers interrupt just to say no. And when
because we're
somebody's
talking
saying
about-
something, they go in and they say no.
Well, you're talking about the theory that we know a bit more about, so we can tell you if you're
Hole is
wrong.
not black, nor is it a hole. They
What
already
went
stated
bang?
Your brain.
Yeah.
What went bang? And what was the
Your
ignition?
brain
Well,
drive.
it wasn't really a bang; it was a rapid expansion.
Okay, so
and it was everything.
What was
So
the,
the site-
what was the ignition source?
So the
There
site.
was no combustion.
So yeah, there was no combustion. So the site that Crit referenced is by Stephen Carruthers, and simply looking at his homepage, he looks to be like a crank.
Well, I did more than just the one. If you look, there's like a few other
What
ones.
caused it to expand?
We don't know.
Well, that was the inflationary period that happened early in the Big Bang.
What inflated it?
We don't know.
Here's one right here from physics.
You don't know fuck all about it.
Here,
We don't know. No, there's things we don't know.
The Big Bang able to separate so much that nothing fell in between it.
What?
Where did the nothing come from?
We don't know.
There's nothing. Hang on. That's before you said we don't know. There's nobody that says that it came from nothing.
Oh God!
There's no scientist on the planet who will say the Big Bang happened from nothing.
There's space, empty space, nothing. If you have something and you start spreading, nothing can't fall in between it if nothing wasn't there from the outside. Like, think about it.
The Big Bang is not the explosion. It's not from nothing. It is simply the expansion of space itself.
Right. And when you expand something, Brenda, it gets thinner and thinner. It doesn't have emptiness suddenly appear in the middle of it.
And
Where did the
Hilbert's
emptiness come from?
Space
Don't know.
So are you saying space was there to start with?
Just a minute.
Are you saying space was there to start with?
No,
You'll know what she's saying if you let her finish.
It's expansion of
Got to
space.
expand.
We don't know.
Brenda just Googled it. Let her tell us all about it.
The expansion of space and time, right? And in a Hilbert space, you can have infinite expansion.
Sure.
You can have anything in fucking La La Land, can't you?
Just because you don't understand it, just because you don't understand it, Brian, does not mean it's false. Sorry.
It's
Yeah, but your answer is I don't know. What a fucking
We don't know.
answer.
Hilbert.
No, there's a lot of stuff we don't know. So what?
Yeah, so you don't know, but we don't understand it. You don't know, we don't understand it.
No, that's
You
true.
got a point because you say you don't know, right? What a fucking
Boyd's
We
was
don't know.
created,
There's a
huh?
lot we don't know about. So what? That's not a problem. Sorry, we're not omnipotent.
So it's okay for you to say I don't know, but it's not okay. But it's okay to you also to say you don't know anything about it. What's your answer? I don't know. What a fucking asshole.
Well, no, you start off with what caused the Big Bang. The answer is no one knows. Sorry. That's the answer.
You're right, Jose. The guy is a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Says the guy who doesn't know a lot of shit. No, the answer is we don't know, and that's not a bad answer.
Flat earthers like to use the second law of thermodynamics. Where does that come from, Brian? Where does the second law of thermodynamics come from?
Well, you guys know it's acceptable to not know things, all right?
I think
Yes,
Nathan
it is.
Oakley invented it.
It's acceptable to know that we don't know what caused the Big Bang. That's true.
Well,
Because we don't
the
know.
Catholic priest said God. That's what he would say.
Well, no, he didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
Big Bang. No.
He specifically told the Pope that it doesn't support Christianity or the existence of God. It doesn't do that.
That's bullshit. So anyway, they've reconciled this.
You're just lying again.
I've seen the Vatican and science reconciled to a mutual acceptance of both, so I don't know what you're talking about. We could go deeper. Listen, what created the empty space, though? What created the empty space? How can something spread so much? Poof! All of a sudden, it's a void in the middle of it. Think about
There's
it.
no void. What do you mean a void?
Incredulity.
Empty
I'll
space.
tell you, Hi. This guy
There-
named Guth.
Who is this both?
Is space like the space in between an electron and the center of an atom or something? Like
Yeah,
that's the
all
only
the
empty
space.
space I thought that science knew of. When have you ever spreaded a material
That's
so
how it
much it
Space-
created emptiness?
Space is
When
not
have you ever done
space is not a material. It's space.
That's the point.
The stuff was not
Don,
being.
what do you think is between two gas atoms?
Exactly. Are you saying that's what outer space is? Are you saying that the outer space is the same as what's in between? Oh, you said two gas atoms. I thought you said electron and proton like I was saying. My bad.
Doesn't matter.
Dude, that's the point. There is nothing in between two gas atoms. They have to be touching always.
No,
they don't.
No, I got an answer for you. We talked.
You're wrong. You don't know
anything.
anything.
62 people are in excitement time now. The answer is antimatter is what's in between the spaces.
Can I answer your question?
What kind of science fiction have you been reading?
Oh my God!
Can I answer?
Yeah, but you guys, they know everything again, guys. They all of a sudden know how it's antimatter.
There are things we know. There are things we don't know. But there are things we know. There are things we don't know. When you start beginning, what caused the Big Bang? We don't know.
I just want to answer.
They know exactly what is not. They know exactly what is not. They don't know exactly what it is, but they know what is not. Sounds a lot like
we are. We are actually justified.
That's right.
We are justified in doing that.
There are limits to knowledge. There are limits to our knowledge.
I'll give you honest answers. Don, I'll give you honest answers.
Be quiet.
You want me to lie until we know what caused the Big Bang? We don't.
If you would be quiet, I can answer your questions. Please.
Yeah, she just Googled it. She knows all about it. Let her speak.
If your theory doesn't match physics, what you do is change physics.
Oh, the theory matches physics. But Don,
you guys,
can I ask
you know
you
what Catholic priests do know? That God is real and God created.
So, you were almost right about that a minute ago, Brian. If our observations don't match known physics, then we were wrong about what we knew about physics.
Right. So the Big Bang.
Of course we update it. Of course it changes.
Yes, when you have more evidence. When you have more evidence, you change your theories. So
you should stick with something that you don't know that doesn't work.
Yes, you change your theory, not your fucking physics.
That is the theory.
Physics is made of theories.
Physics is the theory. Physics is a theory. Correct.
Can I ask Don a question? Don, if you have like air inside a bottle and there's 1 bar of pressure, is it full of air?
Yeah, listen. I know the truth. Listen. Is this who is this?
Mole man.
Mole, yeah, Mole. I understand the conventional stuff, right? Here's what I want to think of. Like when you say you're spreading something in the atmosphere, you explode it, you're spreading it, whatever. It's going to stretch and get thinner and thinner and thinner, but it can only separate when there's another material to go in between it, like air gets in between your fire. Okay, well, so this is what I want. So break down where all of a sudden there was a framework for empty space, basically.
No, but Don, if I have a bottle that has air in it and the pressure is 5 bar, and I release some air so that the pressure is 1 bar, there's less air in the bottle, so there has to be more space in there.
No, we could imagine that the material has Yes, that's what we're brainstorming here. We could imagine that we
don't have to. We know.
Let me get it out. So
okay,
you're assuming that there's since there's less stuff in there, and we could agree there's possibly less stuff. You're assuming that now there has to be more quote unquote empty space, where I could postulate that the stuff in there, although it's less, it has stretched out to fill the space.
No, that's not. It's just so wrong. How can you get this so wrong?
You're not saying anything. You're really not saying anything.
You're breaking the first law there.
People are just talking over each other so much. So,
okay, well, the thing is, I could postulate that, and I don't know how you would falsify it.
If there's a 1 liter bottle of compressed air, it has however much air in there. You let some out, it still has a volume of 1 liter.
Yes. But less atoms. We'll say there's less atoms.
Yeah, the atoms are
of air.
Yes, the atoms.
So I will postulate that to fill the space.
I don't get to talk, so fine.
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
So the molecules are just little. You can consider them to be tiny little BB balls, and they're bouncing around in there. They're just fewer of them. That's all there is. That's it.
I agree, Brenda, but I would postulate maybe the BB balls, two things. Let me get out 2. 1, I'll postulate maybe the BB balls are stretching to fill the space. All right, y'all think that's crazy. Let me hit y'all with number 2. Number 2, there is antimatter available, with the same type of, let me finish. there's antimatter available with the same type of like buoyant rules, right? And it's filling the spaces that it can fall into.
No, there's no antimatter.
And so it falls through a whole lot. You can keep saying no all you want, but dude, it's just a hypothesis.
Okay, but this says you don't know what antimatter is, and that's fine. Most people don't know what antimatter is.
I know what I think it is.
What you think it is doesn't mean that's what it actually is.
Dude, we're talking about what we think. Of course, it's not what it actually is. Let's talk about what we think.
But when you're saying antimatter, you're using it incorrectly. Antimatter, you're saying antimatter is in between things. That's not how antimatter works.
Zan, listen, man, listen.
My name's not Zan. I don't know who the fuck you're talking to.
Who is it?
It's Zach.
Man on Earth.
Snack. Think about this. We talked about this last night, right? You have from 1 to 140 or whatever on your periodic table, right? What if 1 isn't the bottom? What if it's the middle point?
What if you smoke so much weed that you flew?
What the hell?
You go past 0, you go into -1. You go into -1, and that's antimatter.
No, it's not.
That's not how this works.
Y'all, you don't know anything, so don't tell me how it works. You got 30 minutes, you don't know.
Okay, I don't have to know how antimatter works to know that you can't
know what it is, but you're
negative on
wrong,
the periodic table of elements.
It's like, how do they know I'm wrong? They don't know anything. It's so funny.
You're just making up shit. Like
you're straight. Yeah, just making it up. It's called hypothesizing. It's hypothesizing, John.
That's not what science is. Science is just making up shit.
Why would you
Wouldn't it be cool if you like had some weed that got you so high, man, that you could like actually go backwards in time? That would be really
use logic. Scientists use logic to fill in the holes in the physics. I'm doing it. What's the problem?
You're not filling in the holes. You're filling in the holes with bullshit.
It's not bullshit.
It is. It's something literally pulled out of your ass.
Hold on. Do you know that your model says during the Big Bang, matter and antimatter were created at the same time? Do y'all know that y'all's model says that?
Yes, of course we know that.
Okay, but you don't know. But hold on. But you don't know the characteristics of antimatter. You just assume it's something that is.
Yes, we do.
Oh, now y'all know what it is. Look at them.
Never said we didn't.
Now they know what antimatter is. They know what you know. No. You know what you say you want it to be. You know what you want it to be. You don't know what it is.
They use antimatter every day. What you talking about?
Do they, Chike?
Yes.
Do they, Chike?
Yes.
And what's its atomic value? What's the atomic value of the antimatter?
It's the same as the non-antimatter version of the particular atom.
It's the same as the non-antimatter version. Exactly. Now, if you have 1, what's the same as 1? Guys, what's the same as 1 but opposite? -1. Holy shit. We made a breakthrough.
It doesn't have an opposite atomic mass. It has opposite charge.
Don, do you think that antimatter is negative matter, or that -1 is anti-1? Is that what you think?
Like what he said. Listen, what he said. It has the opposite charge, right?
Which is not what you were saying.
Listen, man, I'm not saying anything. I'm saying so we have
you are saying things. Really loudly.
Maybe Gem Panda. Maybe Gem Panda. It's this. Listen, you know it has this negative charge.
We're really not interested.
So why wouldn't it?
Look, nobody's interested in. Look, if you want to propose that something is true, then propose that something is true. Don't propose it's true and then say, "Oh, I'm just throwing it in there, and I'm just saying, I'm just postulating." Who cares? We don't care what you imagine might be true.
Don,
bullshit.
You know, Jim, did you know that they say that bananas produce antimatter? Would you like one today, Jim? I'm sorry, you know I always say throw your banana, but they do say that. Just saying.
But think about how you're saying it has opposite charge, right? Why do y'all expect it to operate under this?
On the periodic table, hydrogen is the first element, and it's there because it has 1 proton and 1 electron. You can't have.
How many neutrons does it have? Wait, how many neutrons?
It has 1 proton and 1 electron. You can't have negative protons.
Why does everybody always forget about neutrons?
Hold on.
So don't talk about the isotopes, man. But listen. Proton. Why do y'all not want to postulate what the antimatter could be doing?
Because if we give any type of explanation or postulate anything or theorize anything, you will attack it as if it's a true statement and try to make it ridiculous. When
Dude, you're turning the tables.
When we
you
don't
no. I brought it up. I brought it up.
We don't know for sure. We can
We're
postulate.
not talking about you bringing it up.
Talking about it, but if you're going to make it ridiculous and yell for the sake of yelling, then it's not worth talking about, is it?
Right.
Gem Panda. When there's 4 people that interrupt your first 3 words and scream no, I'm going to respond by trying to yell
You
over
aren't
them.
screaming. So, Don, the other thing is that an antimatter particle of hydrogen would contain a positron and an antiproton.
So you say?
In other words, you are conceding that we have an answer.
And people have made.
Brenda's saying that. Brenda's doing that.
People have made atoms of anti-hydrogen.
Awesome, but how do you know what they do? How in depth have the laws of physics been applied to these tiny pieces of antimatter you think you have? Think about what you're saying. No. I brought it up like I want to talk about what could be in between the spaces and all this, and you guys just start tripping like you know everything. Is hilarious.
We do know that the antimatter is not in between the spaces.
I never said I know anything.
It seems like really that's your goal here, Don. Was just to get people to say they know things, so you can object to the fact that people are saying that they know things.
No, I wanted to ask one question. That was it. Wanted to ask a question. Wanted to talk to some people without getting closed-minded. Do you hear what these guys are saying up in here?
If you wanted an answer,
Don, I posted a
link.
link.
That answer is correct and not closed-minded.
Don, I posted a link. Biodual. At 40
Yeah, they say no.
It's talking about storing anti-hydrogen and it being created in 95, blah, blah, blah. So if you really are truly interested in the information, I recommend you reading up on that. How about
Okay, so we got 2 things. So I appreciate you showing me what the conventional antimatter is, that they've made observations with materials with these opposite charges, and they consider that the antimatter. Now, maybe that could be that could come into the little very what do you call it? Very loose theory, very loose hypothesis that I'm throwing out here about negative atomic weighted material. But I think it's a cool thought experiment. Like, think about if something had -1 electron and proton somehow. Like, think about that.
It's just, that's not what a thought experiment even is, though.
And you can read up on it.
You see what I mean? Like, dude,
you can read up on it.
Don't pick on my words, dude. If you can't understand what I'm trying to do here, like, just stay out of the conversation.
To avoid confusion,
if I take
something like what you're describing would be called strange matter, which is something entirely different.
Seems like you're describing helium.
Okay, thank you, strange matter. I want to be in on the common terms.
Yeah, I heard that strange matter thing.
Don.
That infects matter.
Don, if I have that air in the bottle and if there's 5 bar pressure and I take out so that there's only 2 bar, who puts the antimatter inside the bottle?
So maybe there's strange matter in between all the spaces of all the other material, and when you create a pressure void, it buoyant falls in through the spaces and fills it up the same way atmospheric air would fill it up.
Maybe.
From where?
It does it from everywhere. It doesn't interact with positive matter in the same way. It's not bound by barriers.
That's not true.
I get it. It's loose. It's not making any sense to me right now.
Matter
If we work together, maybe it could.
Why would anybody want to work with you?
Matter and antimatter have matter and antimatter have the same properties outside of the things that set them apart. Like a positron has the same properties as an electron, except it has negative charge.
Okay.
So it has.
Electron has negative charge.
Positive charge, Brenda.
Can I ask a question about antimatter, Brenda? That you might know.
I'm sorry, right.
We know what you meant.
Think about that. The coherence, the ability for like solid material to pass through each other and whatever, maybe it's blocked by electron shells, in which, in case you're saying these shells have opposite charge, maybe they can do new phenomenon. Who knows?
The problem is that when matter comes into contact with antimatter, they annihilate each other and become
Yeah, you get big
What about
explosions.
strange matter?
Dawn mean by electron shells? Because I don't think he knows.
The reason why solid objects can't pass through one another is because there's not enough empty space.
What about strange matter?
Right, but what if the antimatter can find the spaces since it has a different charge?
It doesn't do that.
That's not how that works.
It's going to be attracted to the normal matter.
So you guys have drawn an atom and then said there's no
empty space.
Yeah, like that's what I want to talk about, guys. Was just the empty space thing.
Yeah,
just from the expansion of the Big Bang.
Come on, guys.
Where did the empty space come in from the Big Bang? Where? It's got to be material.
These are great.
It's not. Why does it have to be material?
Don, the Big Bang didn't happen in space. It was the creation of space.
Absolutely. So that's what I'd like to talk about. Since it was a super dense material, super pressure, superheat, or whatever, all this energy, boom, and whatever was in the single point started spreading out. Now it spread it out so much. It spread it out so much.
Conversation though.
See, this is why you guys pretend like I yell for no reason.
We just want to stop you because you're going down a rabbit hole that's incorrect. It's not the stuff that spread out as such. Space spread out and took the stuff with it.
Yeah, so space in between the
was
things.
the stuff then. So
No,
space
was not the stuff.
You guys are retarded.
Space is the opposite of stuff.
Okay, so there was a single point
There's
with the
stuff and
super
there's
dense
stuff.
Listen, man. There's three of you guys agreeing and disagreeing at the same time. How is that productive?
I'm not even saying anything. I'm trying to help you out. It's not space.
Don't help
Don.
Don.
Space, man. It's space time. Okay? So at the beginning
Doesn't matter what you call it, man. It doesn't matter.
Don. It does matter, Don, because you start thinking about it correctly. Okay.
Dude.
Not only is space,
Don
not
is
only space expanding, but time is also expanding. There's more time that's being.
Hey, Kosho, can I ask you a question, honey? About
Why
this
y'all
thing?
gatekeeping? Why y'all gatekeeping?
Okay, we're talking about antimatter and stuff, but they say the antimatter, right, didn't all get created for the Big Bang. I don't even know how the fuck they know that, but whatever. Let's just go down that path if that's what they're saying. That's real. And it's produced at high energies, cycles of high energies. How are they verifying that, please?
When they create it at CERN, and then they can stabilize it for up to 16 minutes, and then they can make measurements. They can compare it to regular atoms, like what they did with the antihydrogen compared to a regular hydrogen atom. They just do it because it's badass, and
They do it because it's badass.
That's what Don was talking about.
Okay,
then, right?
can you show it to me though? Can you?
Yeah, I
Are
already
they seeing
posted a link for
antimatter?
Don.
Oh, you did,
show
hun.
it again.
Look,
Yeah, can you post it down below so I can see it? Because I don't know what time it was. That'd be great.
Can we just do a little mental
just did it right
walkthrough real quick? Like when y'all talk about the Big Bang starting, can we pretend all the matter in the Big Bang was the egg? Can we do that? And then everything outside
You know
of
what?
the
I
egg.
agree on that.
Okay.
Big Bang, egg. Yep.
Okay, so we got two people wanting to do it. Good. So everything outside of the egg, is that what you guys are saying is the space time before the egg started expanding? Hold on, real quick. Yes or no?
No, the egg was everything.
No. Okay, so
There's
no,
nothing else
right?
outside.
No. Okay, there's nothing outside the egg. So everything that's we see in the universe right now, even the space-time fabric, was inside the egg. Yes? Okay.
The egg is the space time.
Sure. Okay, sure.
Okay, the egg is the space time.
It's matter. So what I'm seeing now, though, guys, is we're kind of all agreeing space-time has to have some type of physical property because it had one in the beginning.
There you go. Isn't it?
That's just your stretched analogy that says.
So you want to disagree with that? Go ahead and disagree so we can have a conversation.
Okay, so hang on, repeat what you just said.
Yes or no? Don't go well. Okay, so yes or no?
Can you?
Is that Grim?
Can you repeat what you said, please?
So the fabric of space-time that we talk about in between planets and stars in our universe now, that was inside the egg at first. The egg was matter and energy and whatever. So it was material. So the space-time had to have been there. The material of space-time was inside the singularity point at the beginning.
I don't know if you could accurately call space-time a material.
See, that's where you're getting weird now. That's where you don't want to admit it's for some reason.
Okay,
it had
it's not technically a material. I'm not getting weird. If you want to describe space-time as a material, you'd have to give me a reason why. You have to give me scientific evidence.
Listen. Okay, fine, Snack. Great. I want to give mainstream their common narrative. So that's the common narrative. But here's the logical gap here. How can you logically think, oh well, it was part of the everything in the beginning, but now it wasn't physical? Like, think about that. Why would it not be physical?
You didn't even finish your sentence. You just said, think about that.
Dude, she heard what I said. Why
I'm
don't you?
thinking logically, right? You would think it would have a physical property. And I understand what he's saying, right? It's the beginning. It was there. Why is it not there now?
If you want to include volume
Why is it
as
what there
physical
now?
properties, and space has volume. But
Physical
that's all
property
it's
of
got.
space-time that it was there in the beginning. You're explaining right now, talking about.
I don't know. You can't really say that anything existed prior to the existence of
you said was
space-time.
space-time.
Okay, prior to Planck time.
And that's a stretched analogy. It gets in the way of understanding.
Prior to Planck time, you really can't say anything about what existed, period. Like, we can't say this existed in the singularity, this existed in the singularity.
But science does. Science says that antimatter existed before Big Bang. So please explain that, but they can't see past the Big Bang. Please.
They don't.
You got an egg of peanut butter. The peanut butter explodes
explain.
everywhere. You're thinning out the peanut butter. Where did empty peanut butter come from? Where did it come from?
Yeah, wait. So, Stacy, they don't make claims prior to space-time. Or prior to Planck time, I should say. Prior to the existence of the universe, you can't make claims about the about what caused the universe.
Yeah,
or you can't say anything happened before the existence of space-time, because technically there is no before the existence of space-time.
God.
So you think you can make claims at 15.1 billion years ago?
Right.
Are you freaking serious?
Yes, we're freaking serious.
It's like when you walk into a room and you find water on the floor. You know it had to get there somewhere, and so you can put clues together to find out how the water got there.
Do you want to give them to me?
Can I have the clues of how they actually figured this out?
So when you go into space and you see space-time everywhere, you got to figure out somebody put the space-time there.
There you go.
It's a thing. It's not a nothing. It's a thing.
There you go. You're right.
It's not matter. Space-time isn't matter, but it is part of the universe.
What are these? Coconuts?
So, who was the genius that says you can see space-time
how did you verify that?
All your matter went away so far. All the matter went so far away from each other that somehow it created emptiness.
It's about.
Hang on, wait. When you said somebody had to put it there or something had to put it there, let me tell you, you're making a mistake called the error of category. So what you're doing is you're looking at the rules of our universe.
Your analogy.
Saying that causality appears to hold true in our universe, and then asserting that if causality holds true in our universe, then it must hold true in systems outside of our universe.
No, you're somewhat right. I was hitting on your water analogy a little bit, but you're somewhat right.
It's about mind over matter. If it doesn't mind, then
But he was talking about physical. Like, he was like, well, you're seeing the physical water, you find out and you get the clues, but where the hell did you see space-time and it exists back then and said, hey, this is where it came from.
Right.
You can't find it now.
In space-time.
The only other empty space we know about is in between atoms, in between the electrons and the protons. So to me, that's what's going on up here. The stars are our electrons of our solar system. And the only reason there's empty space in between them is because they're all part of a giant atom.
Cool. Publish that theory and go ahead, publish it.
You saw Men in Black.
Publish that theory and you can do whatever you want.
Someone's hot mucking.
Yeah, somebody is.
Sure.
Go ahead and publish that theory and we'll see how far it goes.
So the theory is, Stacy B, is that both matter and antimatter were created at the beginning of the universe, but there is some asymmetry that accounts for why the universe is mostly matter now. All of the matter and antimatter annihilated each other, but there's some asymmetry that accounts for why we have mostly matter now.
Another pile of crap.
But the question still is, why is there matter and
How are we verifying this? How did you verify back then that happened?
It's because it's a prediction of the theories. So
okay, it's a prediction of a theory, and now we're going to sit here and act like space-time exists and all this is happening. You just said it's a prediction of a theory.
Yes.
Did you hear that? Okay.
Then you look for evidence that
you don't know what a scientific theory is?
We're going to look for evidence of a prediction of a theory.
Sincerely, Brenda, what was the contract?
That's how you prove theories. That's correct. Very good.
But you have no evidence.
You test
what was that
theories.
contract?
Yeah, we do. We look at the universe and we see.
How did you test a theory that you cannot test because it's back then? How did you test it?
But
because these theories have other implications that are always
Like
there.
a creator exists.
Really?
How did you test it? Experiment,
Okay,
please.
I'm trying. I don't know all the details, but just let me finish. These kinds of theories will have other implications for the behavior of usually subatomic particles or something, like the very small minutia of the details of the behavior of matter and antimatter. And that's the kind of things that we can test today in these particle colliders and stuff.
Okay,
That's
these
what they
particle
tell
colliders
you.
and stuff.
They don't test
Yeah,
anything
exactly.
of the sort. They just smash things together and they look
They
at a
smash them.
swirl and they say, "Oh, this swirl went this way. That
Yeah,
swirl
Macho.
went that way."
Why people
It's
a whole
gotta
lot
be
smarter than you.
this.
If only it was that simple.
they
But-
don't
but-
just see swirls;
Brenda.
they see interactions.
Brenda, could you
Yes.
reiterate the contrast you made about 2 minutes ago about we have mostly matter? I kind of missed the whole thing you were saying.
So suppose
Yeah.
it's just standard. This is just standard cosmology, right?
Yes,
At
it
the time of the Big Bang, matter and antimatter were created in approximately equal amounts.
Equal, right?
They annihilated each other, and what was left over was what we call ordinary matter. And why that is
Cool story,
thought
bro.
to be. Why that is it is thought to be that there is some sort of asymmetrical reason. Accounting, like CP violation, somebody posted
Yeah.
above, that accounts for that.
That last sentence.
Can I ask a question to you, Brenda, then?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Is how did they test and verify, right, that there was equal amounts of
Yes.
antimatter and matter back at the Big Bang? Can you please tell me that?
It's
So
all
an-
predicted by the theory.
Anisotropies
Okay, so it's
that are
just a
observed-
prediction by a theory. As long as we come to the understanding
No,
that
Stacey,
all
I'll
this
give you-
stuff is pseudoscience because it's just then a prediction
Not
and theory and not
pseudoscience, no,
provable,
sorry.
not provable, but
Not
it's
pseudoscience.
science.
Sorry, if you got a better
This
theory,
is
then go ahead and
told
publish
as
it.
science.
Go ahead.
Stacey,
And
I'll
if
give
you
you
have no evidence for it and it's a theory, it is pseudoscience to be teaching.
No, it's not. It's science, you
100%
idiot.
correct,
Can we let
Stacey.
the
Good on you.
astronomers
Yeah, well, we know you are,
Stacey, I'll give you.
Macho.
Stacey, I'll give you
Can
an
the
empirical.
astronomers speak?
I'll give you an
Okay, I can only
empirical.
take one at a time, guys. One
One
at
at
a
a
time.
time, guys. Come on.
I'm waiting. I'll wait.
Chronic's turn.
Let Chronic go, please.
Stacey, I'll give you an empirical observational evidence.
Okay, give me the
of this.
empirical evidence of back at the Big Bang time, please.
Anisotropies that are observed and measured in the cosmic microwave background are only explained by instabilities at or very, very shortly after the instance of the Big Bang. There's your
How
empirical
did you
observation.
verify that? How did you verify that, please?
I'm going to go back to my Chipotle.
By looking at it, that's
Thank you for your time.
Smart man, Chronic. Smart man.
By looking at the cosmic background radiation.
He just told you how you verify.
Why are you showing?
No, you're literally
in
looking at
evidence.
something and saying that's what happened at the Big Bang.
Yes,
Clearly
correct.
not interested in evidence.
because that's
She's
how
not asking
science
actual
works.
questions.
That's
She
how
doesn't
science
care.
works, just looking at something and just claiming that's what it is without the actual verification over and over and over again. You're just going to claim it.
You're right, though. She doesn't
She
care. She
doesn't
just looks for
care.
a point where she can say, "How did you verify
What do you
that?"
mean? Well, Jim, I've been sitting here the
Doesn't
whole
even
time
know
talking
what
about this
verify
from the very,
means.
very beginning, and I'm just asking for the verification of what
Well, I
science
think you
says.
should-
That's all I'm
I
asking
think-
for, and you
Oh,
do
well,
know that.
how would we verify this? What would be?
Can you let Jen
What would be
finish?
sufficient verification?
Can you let Jen finish?
What would be sufficient verification?
My God.
Great question. I'd like to know too. What is sufficient verification?
What is sufficient verification?
Zoom into the areas you say your CMB is coming from and show that it's not coming from other stars and other things behind there.
I
Do
can't
that.
believe that
Do
this
that.
is
How about
actually
verifying
happening.
that?
What would be sufficient verification?
How about like some sort of computer simulation?
How about an observation? Would that be it? I think that might be
What
it.
about
Well,
computer
I think
model?
before you-
No, I'm asking.
Only.
Hang on. Before you go down this road, Stacey,
Okay,
as
honey.
always,
Uh-huh,
needs
go
to
ahead.
explain to us what she means by verify. And what
Exactly.
we will
No,
find,
we're
what
not
we will
doing that,
find
Jim, to
after-
verify again
Listen.
today.
What would be sufficient verification?
Oh, for
One at a
fuck's sake.
time, children. Jem is speaking.
Master Shill, I've had to mute you because I'm trying to speak and you just. It's like I'm not here. I don't know why you're doing that. It's very ignorant. Because what we will find, if we ask Stacey to define what she means by verify,
I'll tell you.
she will avoid answering the question directly for as
No,
long
I'll
as she
answer you right
can.
now.
And then ultimately, we will find the answer to the question is she needs to personally experience it. So it doesn't matter if you've seen it, that won't be good enough. Right, Stacey?
Right? We've already been over this before. Yeah, we have done this before. Just what was it, a few weeks ago?
How much
we
of
wanted
that
to know
time
the
was you
definition of
talking?
verify. And I posted that definition of verify, did I not? And it was to then what? To do experiment after experiment, not just one, right? Multiple, to verify whatever your conclusion is. So now I'm asking you to show me, right, a scientific experiment over and over to verify what you're saying. Because doesn't doesn't science say to verify things and evidence you have to then what? Provide a scientific experiment?
Okay, but
so where's
you don't,
2 or 3 verifying?
Before you go any further, you're lying now. You don't have any.
Why am I lying?
Listen, I'll tell you. Because you do not have any definition at all of verify that mentions that mentions scientific experiments. You made that up.
Well, I'm telling you what I said verify means. If that's not good enough for you, then I don't know what to tell you, Jim. And I love you still. Wink, wink. You know that.
Well, what does it
but
mean
at the same time, hun, I'm telling you.
So now you
cannot come to a conclusion without multiple tests, experiments of what we're talking about right now to verify, which is to prove. Do you want to go down that one again too?
Right, go ahead. Tell me.
I want proof over and over to verify this with a scientific experiment.
Okay, tell me.
Is that good enough?
No. Tell me 3 things that you know about reality that you have verified with a scientific experiment. Tell me 3 things that you know about reality that you have verified with a scientific experiment.
I have done no scientific experiment.
Okay, so should we?
I am not saying that. I'm not science. I am not a scientist, and I'm not the one putting this information out.
Stop. However, you would claim to know things about reality. Would you or would you not?
When you're talking about science, it always means a scientific experiment. You want to talk about reality of things I know? I don't need a scientific experiment. This is not science.
Avoiding the question. So I'll ask you the question again. Do you claim to know things about reality?
Yes.
Right. So we've now got 2 statements from you. 1, you've never done any scientific experiments. 2, you know things about reality. We can conclude. Listen carefully, because we're getting to the point now. This is the clever bit, okay? We can conclude from this that we can know things about reality without scientific experiments. Would you agree?
Absolutely. You can. Right. But when you're talking about science, shut up, please. When you're talking about science, you better come with that scientific.
We're not talking about science.
Experiment.
I'm not
playing. We are. When you're talking about the sun, you're talking about verifying things and Big Bang and all this stuff. I want a scientific experiment.
You've suddenly thrown science in out of left field for no reason whatsoever. The question was, can you know things about reality? You have agreed that you can. That if that is true, why in this specific case, since in no other case of everything that you know, every single fact, the tens of thousands of facts that you would say that you would say you know about reality, the tens of thousands of facts, none of them have been verified with a scientific experiment. However, this fact has to be verified not just with 1, but with multiple scientific experiments. Would you say that could be evidence of a very, very strong confirmation bias?
For me, no, because I'll explain why. When you're talking about just things that you know, right? I know how to speak English, right? I'm talking to you, right? I didn't need a scientific experiment for that. We actually made up that. We've also cut down trees and seen it. We made paper out of it. I can sit there and see how they do that and the process of that. But if you're going to talk about something like antimatter and stuff like this with no verification, and I'm not going to go down the definition of verification with you right now.
You don't need verification.
Wait. If you don't need to wait. If you want to prove these things that you're talking about when it comes to science,
no, we don't need to do any of that.
Then you need to have a scientific experiment. To prove that, yes, you do, because Look it
we
up.
we have already agreed that is not required to know things about reality.
It's not required to know things.
Right.
In reality.
Right. It's not. So why? What you've described to us is.
I never said it was.
That of all these situations that you've come across, every single thing that you know about reality, you didn't require.
You're right. I did not require a scientific experiment. You're right. I didn't.
But this one thing, or in fact, this set of things relating to the shape of the Earth, for that you do. And
why don't you ask scientists why they need one?
Let me make my point. Okay. Shut up. Listen. Listen to what I'm saying. Don't be thinking about what the next sentence you can get in halfway through my sentence. Shut up. Listen. Maybe I've got a point to make.
Okay.
So I say that that's a confirmation bias because you're setting one standard of evidence for this selection of things relating to this issue surrounding the shape of the Earth or the nature of the Earth. You've got one standard for that, one very, very demanding standard that you haven't applied to any other fact that you would say that you know about reality. And that is a confirmation bias.
No, it's not, for you it
very
is.
long, very hard, wading through you case.
Shut up already, Jen.
I'm sorry. It was a little funny, though. I mean, I'm not asking for anything to verify, right? A scientific experiment, honey, that I'm talking to you, for fuck's sake. I'm not asking for a scientific experiment that I'm drinking a coffee right now because I really don't give a shit about that. But when you're talking about things that even science itself says that they need to verify things that you do not understand or know and are very complex, in quotations like you guys say, to prove things, then there needs to be a scientific experiment to back these claims. And we need to see these in reality, and that is what science says, and do not tell me that science does not put that in that category. I didn't put it there, they did.
You did.
You should, because it's required, Jim,
because
for
all
science.
we thought about,
I didn't make it that way.
Well, you did, because you did.
That's
I'll
science.
explain
That's
why.
real science, honey.
I'll explain
because
why.
Real science requires that.
I'll explain why, because this wasn't a conversation about science. It was a about, listen, you're not listening. You're trying to talk. It was a conversation about knowledge, about how we can know things. And you've agreed that you and I would agree with you, we have methods of knowing things that do not involve multiple scientific experiments. And you're demanding that in this one instance because you think it'll be a difficult standard for people to meet here in this Discord to be able to show you evidence of these multiple scientific experiments. And another point I would make is that issues like this are not necessarily settled with a single scientific experiment. Often it's multiple ones. Well, why? That's ridiculous.
No, I mean, multiple times if you say the same thing.
These are very complex issues of reality, of the nature of reality, and they can't always be demonstrated with a single
natural reality.
Listen. They can't always be demonstrated with a single scientific experiment. It could be a complex interaction of a number of effects and forces and chemistry and different things. So you cannot always demonstrate that with a single scientific experiment, and pretending that you can and that there should be just a video of it on YouTube ready for people to show to you is just dishonest.
No, what it is though is, honey, it's not dishonest, okay? For the natural world, it's required in science. Do you understand that? I did not put that out there. That is how it works, okay? I'm asking for that. Wait, let me finish, please.
Your own version of
but what Jim just said, I appreciate you being honest, because you just said in that statement, you guys have a very, very, very hard time trying to provide that to us because you can't hardly find it. Thank you for at least saying that in the natural world. And at least you're going to admit that. So when we ask for that, but let's not forget, that's what science is. So if you do anything other than that, that is pseudoscience. Do you understand that?
I muted you so you can't lie anymore. I haven't admitted any such thing that you've just made up I said. So stop lying. I really hate it when you do this, Stacey. I didn't say...
Can somebody rewind that, please, and clip it? Thank you.
I didn't say any of those words at all that you said. I also didn't say any lines, anything even remotely close to the meaning of the words that you just said. Nothing whatsoever, nothing even slightly close to it. And I wonder
said it
why
was so
you would,
complex.
I wonder why you would dishonestly try and pretend
I'm not.
that I said something I didn't say. Why would you
I
lie
think
like
either
that?
either she's lying or she was just not listening. She was like what you said before, waiting to give a response.
No. Let's go back then.
Often her responses center on a
I
single
am not
word.
lying.
I was here.
Often
I was
her
here too.
responses center on a single word that she picked up on
Stacey.
in one sentence, and she'll just respond to that one word.
Stacey, what Jim said was that the reason why you're doing this is because you think that it will be difficult for us to provide you enough evidence to
No, he did
convince
not.
you.
Yes, that is
That is-
exactly what
No,
I
he
said.
did not.
Yes, I
That's
did.
exactly what he said.
Stop
Then
lying.
can somebody rewind it and play it, please?
So you
And if I'm
think
wrong, listen. If I'm wrong, I'll put my
You're
hands up
wrong.
and say I misunderstood you then,
So
and I
you
misheard
think-
that. I will. So
Hey,
can we
listen,
replay it, please?
listen,
Please. No, I
listen,
want because you're calling me a liar.
listen.
So please replay that, please.
You are a liar. You are a liar. You are lying because I did not say it's impossible
let's
for us to
rewind.
do this.
I didn't say
You're lying.
impossible. I never said impossible. You said it was hard to provide this to us.
That's what he
Rewind.
just said. That's what
But you didn't say think.
No. He said
the
the
thing
reason
that
why
was
you do this is
specified
because
was
you
YouTube
think it will be
videos.
difficult for us to provide you with this evidence.
That's not what he said.
And then,
He said because it
Stacey,
is.
what you said was that we can't provide you with this
I
evidence.
said because you think is what I said.
Okay, rewind, Jim. Then rewind.
You rewind it. It's your claim.
You're the one calling me a liar and said I said something, right?
You're maybe not lying. You misheard what I said.
Well, I appreciate that you at least say that because I'm definitely not lying on purpose. I may misheard you, but definitely didn't lie. Thank you for at least stating that.
Anyway,
But I'm pretty sure you
these
said that.
these gentlemen here can show you those scientific experiments. My point was you demanding them in the way that you are is intellectually dishonest. Because you
Why? I
don't-
mean, you just told me he could show me. Then why sit here and go down this battle if they could show me the scientific
just told
experiments
you
that I
why.
asked for? Why?
I just told you why, because your demand for them is intellectually dishonest.
My demand for these experiments of the natural world that claims that that is science is wrong to ask for. Are you freaking kidding me, Jim?
Yes,
Also-
I'm not kidding you. That is absolutely the case. As we've already established,
That's fine. At least you say that.
listen, everything you know, as you've come to the knowledge of without the scientific experiments. Every single thing you know, everything. Not one thing, not most things, not 1,000 things, not 10,000 things. Every single thing you know. These things you want scientific experiments. That's
Nobody
intellectually
ever
dishonest.
said that. That every single thing I know of the world that I want a scientific experiment for. You keep saying that.
No, I didn't
said I know
say
things
that.
in reality
I
without an
didn't
experiment.
say that.
And
Stacey, I
also
said the
would
opposite
expect
to that.
it to be in the natural world that you're talking about of science. I expect a scientific experiment for. That's the difference. Do not
Stacey,
put
you have a
I
real
did not
listening.
I did not say that you require a scientific experiment for everything you know. I said the opposite to that. I said you do not require a scientific experiment for everything you know.
I don't need to.
Listen, except that this is why you get it wrong, Stacey, because you don't listen. I said you don't require scientific experiments for everything else. You do require it for this. That's why it's intellectually dishonest. Now, somebody else tell her about some science.
Intellectually dishonest because I require scientific experiments for the natural world. That is what science is, but I don't expect it for everything in reality. Did you just say that to me?
Yes, I did, because when you say you require it for the natural world, you don't. You didn't require it for any aspect of the natural world apart from these specific ones.
I don't need to have the science and experiments that you're asking for to know that I'm drinking coffee. You call it whatever you want to call it. We call coffee. I'm drinking
You can
it.
try and
For
take this
fuck's
into
sake,
some...
Jim, I
Look,
don't need to know everything on
okay,
reality
all right.
of the science
I'll make it,
experiments.
since you've tried this dishonest line again, I'll make it more explicit for you. When I'm talking about things you know about the world, I mean things external to Stacey fucking B. Okay? facts about the world, not facts about Stacey B. Okay? That's a different set of criteria you use for your own personal experiences that you are currently having. You tried this last time. Honestly, Stacey, it's pathetic.
You
I
guys
would
think
say,
it's
like, for
pathetic
example,
to ask
Stacey.
for scientific experiments for...
Hang on, Stacey. So,
Not
for
just that,
example,
This is pathetic.
Just to pretend.
This is pathetic.
Just to pretend that
Stacey.
this is your standard. It's everybody's standard.
It's
it should be the
science
standard.
standards,
It sh-
not mine. Stop it, Jim.
It's not, is it? It's not your standard for anything else. That's
Stacey.
the
So hang on.
point.
So for example,
And why are you
Stacey, if
pretending it's absolutely required for this? That's dishonest.
Stacey, I would point out, for example,
Can
my
I get a
8-year-old,
hypothesis, please?
I would point out, so for example, my 8-year-old would say things like, he might ask, why is the sky blue? Right? So in order to answer that question, I don't have to go and conduct a scientific experiment to give him a scientific explanation for why the sky is blue.
Okay. Good.
I can look at the
Good.
knowledge that we as humanity have gathered regarding science. And
No.
color.
You called it blue because that is what we called it. Science did not name it blue. Next, please.
No. The fuck are you talking about?
Science is only
She doesn't
interested in
understand
cause.
the difference between what and why. She fundamentally
I didn't
cannot
ask
grasp
what
that concept.
color is the sky. I said, why is the sky blue? Why? Okay, we don't have to say
Why
blue.
the sky is blue is what we're going to go down now?
It is. So
You don't know unless you named it blue.
no. I don't. What?
Why is the sky
Snack.
blue?
Snack.
Explain. Right?
Ponder
This is
that-
bullshit. We're talking
ponder
about
response for a
cause.
little bit, Snack. Don't respond. Just think about the response for a second.
I don't care about the color of the damn sky right now that you guys want to derail on. We're talking about
I'm not
science and
derailing. I'm giving you an
cause.
example,
Right?
Stacey.
We're talking about cause and effect here. What the hell is you guys'
We're not
problem?
talking about cause and effect. Okay, so
That's the problem. You're not talking about cause and effect, which is science. Can we get back to science now, please?
okay, this is science. Science can tell us why the sky is blue.
Then please explain to me your science of the sky is blue. I really don't give a fuck though, because we're not talking about
Okay,
that. I
but
don't know why you're
the point
derailing
is,
because
right,
the sky is blue. My kid.
In order to say, in order to answer my son, why is the sky blue? I don't have to go and conduct a scientific experiment to determine why the sky is blue. That's not something I can do, right? And that's not
wasn't the first question.
Right? We know the refractive index of different material, and we know certain material refracts blue, right?
Why are we
Refracts blue.
talking about this now? This is a little childish.
Because there's water in the atmosphere.
No.
And we know
But
that.
how
because-
did we get down this path when we're talking about what
because I'm taking it to
science
something a little bit simpler.
requires, honey?
No, you guys got it wrong.
Okay, but
Because you're in a room of
Snack, you
robots.
okay, the reason why the sky is blue is because God loves infantry.
What's up, Chris?
The sky is blue, it's black.
Partial explanation. The other half is
I tried.
the sky is blue
I failed.
because blue is pretty.
Well, God
Like,
That's
you can
right,
accept
Kurt.
that, right, Stacey?
I'll
Blue
accept
is
it.
pretty,
Because
so
it's
the sky is
stupid
blue.
that we're even
It makes
discussing this
sense.
part. Let's just go with it.
Why don't we get down to the actual science that supports what was it, antimatter we were talking about? I can't
Yeah, you were
remember
talking about
exactly.
antimatter, and I was just bringing in some topics, and I was right on everything I was talking about. But you guys just started getting
What?
crazy. Here comes Jen because what she's saying is correct, and all of a sudden we're talking about fucking reality and my coffee and why is the sky blue? Well, actually, the question in the beginning that he said was not why is the sky is blue, but the kid asked about supposedly what color is the sky?
That's not true.
Blue.
That's not
No,
true.
I never said
Can I get in, Jen?
Throughout.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
The real question, the problem here, Stacey, is that you distrust your fellow human being.
Also,
I
you
don't
listen.
distrust
Well,
me
you
as
are
a
the same
fellow
thing.
human being.
That's
I
the part-
want
that's the
it
part.
proven if they're going to claim what I'm
No, you
standing
don't.
on.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do want it.
No,
Yes, I
you
do
don't.
want that.
No,
Don't
you
tell me what I
don't,
don't
because
want,
people
baby.
have people here have proven it to you. They've showed it to you, and you just reject it.
You guys have not shown me any measurements of curvature, and I'm not going to go down
No,
this path or any proof of rotation. Your
you
shit is
don't
ridiculous.
look.
I'm talking
You
about what I'm
don't-
standing on, not cosmology,
don't
not the
look.
sky, and not any of this bullshit you want to say. Is China real? Is China real? Come the fuck on. We're talking about science. So get me
No,
off
I
of
got a
science
good- no, you're
claims
not.
and what we need
I
to
I got a
prove
perfect
science.
example. So earlier
We're talking
today,
about
I'm sorry, Jen.
we're talking about epistemology. We're not talking about science. You keep wanting to talk about science.
Of course I want to
and you
talk
are
about science. Isn't this what we're here for? Flat Earth debate?
Listen, because you want to pretend that the only way we can know things is with a quantum eraser 4-step experiment. But
please don't bring a quantum eraser again on me, because
But you know that that's not true, because you've already admitted that everything you know, you came to know not via a quantum eraser 4-step experiment. So we aren't talking about science. That may be part of it, but at the moment where the conversation went was about epistemology. It's about how we come to know things. So, sorry.
Okay, can I ask you then one question, Jim, and I'll be done with this, and I'll let everybody else speak for a second. I just want to know from your mouth, for the natural world, for science, do we need to have a scientific method experiment? Do we need to have those?
Not in the way that you think.
Not in the way I think. What is the way I think? So what do you need, Jim? Because I'm pretty sure it's what science says.
But I'll tell you, because you threw in a scientific method experiment, and by
what
that
is a scientific method?
And by exactly by that you mean quantum erasers 4 steps, and that is incorrect.
So you're going to tell me that's incorrect and that is not?
Yes. Listen, it's incorrect.
At least you're saying that out loud for everyone to hear. Thank you.
Videos on it, Stacey, saying
already
how
know it.
incorrect it is. I've got dozens of quotes from Nobel Prize winning physicists saying how wrong it is. Would you like to hear them? Probably not.
Actually, I just got coffee on my face, Jim. Give me 1 second.
I would like to hear them.
You can go ahead and you can post that for me. Yes, let's see that, Jim.
I mean, the difference.
We'll talk about
the difference is that if somebody was genuinely interested in these questions, they would research, and when somebody tells them something, they would ask questions to find out more about it, not to try and pick holes in it and say, where is it, and show me the evidence. And
don't
that kind of
pick holes in it.
Huh? You stick your head in your face and ask a whole bunch of questions. How
you try to verify it by doing your research, by getting more than one source if you want to go down that route, but you question in a different way.
What are you going to get besides more questions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
data, pieces of paper,
do you
no
get any
proof,
evidence?
no evidence.
Do you get anything you can put in your hand and see and feel and touch and play with?
So what have you printed out? You can put it in your hand.
What science is in a sense a process of generating new questions, right?
So Stacey,
because when we answer a question, all it does is generate new questions that we can ask about what we've recently discovered.
So Stacey,
it is that way.
So Stacey, what sources have you read about the scientific method?
She not here.
You're gonna have to hang on a second, like I just said. I got coffee over myself, and I told them to take over. And then Brenda turns around and asks me a question. Please, I'll be back in a moment.
Brenda, we already know you don't know shit about science.
Meanwhile, if Brenda is busy, I actually looked into this as well. I'm studying currently in university, so I misused and abused my university's library.
Stop being such a fucking asshole, Jeremy.
All right, well, let's test your scientific knowledge.
Yeah, Jeremy used to
Brenda.
not be so much of an asshole, and then I think he started spending too much time with all the other flat earthers and became a fucking
What's
prick.
the best chemical composition to clean toilets, Brenda?
Well,
come on.
Sodium bicarb.
To clean, no.
Hey, if Jeremy wants to start that shit, fuck him.
I understand because you're upset, but
actually,
I mean, you know,
No, I'm not upset.
I get asked a question I can't answer. So
the question's rhetorical, Brenda.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's about Jeremy being a slimy cunt with his stupid little pithy comment.
Come on, come on.
Actually, I just recently cleaned my toilet with a professional grade. It's hydrochloric acid.
Is it necessary? Must have been in a bad state then, yeah?
Well, because it takes scale off. I have hard water here, so it takes the scale out.
Ah, okay. My toilet doesn't have the scale, but then I'm lucky for that. I bleach it.
No, we have very hard water here in Minnesota, at least where I am. We don't have a.
Where are you
we don't
at,
have,
hon?
well,
Well, I'm not trying to find out where you're at, but I'm just saying.
I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I live in an apartment building. We don't have soft water here. We just have water. It's hard water.
Mm-hmm.
You mean
So is Stacey
Yes,
ready
it
to
is here
answer
too. I'll be
Brenda's
right back.
question now?
Oh, for fuck's sake! As soon as I try to say, I'll be right back because Jeremy's being a twit. I ain't speaking to your bitch ass. Make that fucking clear, lady.
I didn't call you any names. Stop talking.
Oh, but why don't you start changing your name to Stacey wants to kill herself all the damn time because you're sickening.
Right, I'm posting my things anyway, Stacey. So here's one for you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Brenda had asked her a question and she ran away because of coffee or something.
I didn't run away. I got coffee all over me, and I was trying to just sit here and say it's ridiculous to pull out people's fucking jobs on here. Shut the hell up, and you never talk about the shape of the earth. What the fuck do you know? I've asked you multiple times. What do you know, lady?
So much more
You've never, ever talked shit that I've ever heard about the shape of this earth, and then you want to come in here and try to tell somebody what the hell they need to do. Why don't you explain, honey, your model?
Wow.
Did we learn it's possible that females
I bet
will
she
say
won't.
suck my pussy?
Why don't we let Twit respond?
Okay. I just asked since Stacey was back, is she ready to answer Brenda's question?
Oh, Jim just called you out to answer, hon. Why don't you answer? I've asked you multiple times because you want to try to keep calling me out. I want you to answer. Do you know anything about the earth? Because I don't think you know anything.
I know it's not flat.
Why do you know it's not flat? Tell me about your model.
Answer.
No, I don't think I want to. I want to know.
That's what I thought, and you would have jumped on with it, me and everybody else, and you don't know shit. Sit down.
I do.
And I'll be back after I finish cleaning up my coffee, lady.
See, she's
Shut
so
up.
scared. She's so scared.
No, bitch, you're scared because
Listen
you
to
don't know
this
nothing,
mouth.
and I just proved it.
I know nothing.
Because you come in here, you make claims that I said stuff about you that I didn't, and you got proof that you're a liar. Then you make your name Stacey Wants to Kill Myself, which is totally bullshit. People that know me would never ever do that. You are a sick individual, and you would come in here and call people out, and you know nothing about the shape of this earth. Shut up, sit down, and get out of this bullshit. I'm sick and tired of these people coming in here who think they know shit and try to pull us out, right? Call us out, and you don't know anything, do you?
I know a lot of things. I know one big
explain
thing.
the earth. We're talking about the earth here, honey. And all you say is, I know the earth's not flat.
Yeah. What do you know?
For fuck's sake, I earned Champion Friday. Why don't you go back with the videos? What the fuck I know? Because maybe you don't listen.
I've been listening. So I'm asking you, what do you know?
Like I just told you, honey, I don't need to tell you what I know. There's video
okay.
after video after
Okay.
video after video after video of me and what I know.
Oh,
Did you not listen about antimatter? Do you know anything about antimatter that I talked about? Why? Okay, wait, I'll ask you a question. Why do bananas produce antimatter? Do you know that? Called potassium. Potassium
Because
chloride.
God made them so.
Right. Oh, yeah, because God made them. See, lady, you need to shut up and start learning real science and then come in here and then try to debate me. Until then, I don't ever speak to you.
What does
Understand
that
me?
have to do with the shape of the planet?
We were talking about antimatter, and that's how I got into it. And that bananas supposedly produce antimatter, science says. That's why.
I think you I think you should remember, Stacey, that the people like us that engage you guys in conversation and take you seriously enough to debate with you on these subjects. We're doing you a listen. We're doing. Oh, for fuck's sake! That's four. I've said 4 sentences and I've been interrupted 5 times. Are you mentally ill, you people?
I want to tell you, I agree with you.
Shut the fuck up! Right, so... Do you know what? I've completely forgotten what I was going to say now. Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys.
You were saying that you were doing that people like them a favor by debating them.
Yeah. And not everyone wants to do you that favor, Stacey.
That's fine. But you're people in here that sit and
Can
don't
I
talk
make
about
a point?
it.
Fucking shut up!
I'm sorry. Jim.
Jesus!
Go ahead. I
6
know.
times now I've been interrupted. 6 times trying to make 1 point. Jesus!
Yeah, we don't want your help.
But you You've got mod powers. Just mute her.
Use the
I'd have to
dog
mute-
mode, Jem.
But I'd have to have muted 6 people, wouldn't I? Or at least 4. My
Just use the
point
dog
is,
mode.
my point is, we're doing you a favor by engaging with you. Not everyone, and I think Twit is one of these people, bothers to do you that favor. They don't think it's worth it.
No, we're doing you a favor, Jem. Without us, you're nobody.
man.
Without us, you're no one, Jem.
And Twit really shares, to some extent, shares my approach.
You're going down the toilet, Jem.
You know, we've got
You said you're going down the toilet.
we've got pictures from space. We know the shape of the Earth because we've seen it.
You've seen it because you got pictures from space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's your
Stacey,
proof.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's okay, Jim. If that's what you need for your evidence, then that's fine. But for me, and for real science, right? Natural science, it takes more than that. Sorry.
Listen, you can pretend that the evidence is just the pictures from space. Because you have to do that because it's required for you to dishonestly maintain this absurd belief. But of course, that isn't the only thing. It's one of the things. It's the most compelling, most easily accessible thing that shows us in living colour what the shape of the Earth is. No more arguments required, no force the line, no laser tests, no endless debates are required. The fact of the shape of the Earth is known. Right, Twit?
Exactly. There's nothing else to be said. I can listen all day, and it's funny when
you can listen.
Excuse me, I was talking. When I've been here for years, right? Some people haven't even been here as long, so I've been listening to this debate, waiting for some information that's going to change my point of view. But
if you've been listening for years and all you know that the Earth is not flat and you can't even provide anything of your own world model,
can't you
you've been
let
listening for a
people
couple of years, that's pretty freaking sad.
Talking over everybody. I was trying to hear what she was just
because
saying.
this woman is only trying to call me out like she did for a while now. This woman has attacked me in this community.
Has anyone ever seen
Wait one
the
second.
hot air balloons?
Wait one second, please, Demok. Can anybody in this room tell me if I'm always trying to call Stacey out?
No, you're not.
Nope.
Definitely not.
Stacey attack me every time I open my mouth.
Yes.
No,
Thank you.
no, that's a lie. That's a lie. Stacey doesn't do that. You're the guy that
Yeah, she does. When she's in here, she does.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't.
Every time I've been
Stacey,
last
think about it though.
I've heard her
Stacey,
do it.
If I
20 times.
ask you, if I were to ask you, Stacey, what is the shape of the Earth? What answer would you give me?
Oh, sorry, you muted me. I already know. That I know that the Earth is flat because I've seen for 53 damn miles with my own eyes. There's a difference. Some of these people have never even done an observation.
So you would say you
and you guys, wait. I know because you guys cannot prove refraction to that limit, and you know what I'm going to go down.
Hang on, before we go ranting on about anything else,
right,
I'm just asking you one simple question. I just want to be absolutely clear. You are saying you know that the shape of the Earth, the entire Earth, you know that shape is flat.
No, she's not saying that.
As far as I can see and measure and know that we know.
Well,
we can negotiate everything,
hang on, because that's a wholly different thing, isn't it? As far as I can see is flat, is completely different to that whole world that I'm standing on is flat. So I wonder why you... I mean, it was nice of you to try and sneak that one in there.
No, I've always said that.
If I ask you, I'll ask you again. If I ask you, what is the shape of the Earth, what would your reply be? Come on, you can say it.
know it's flat as far. I'm gonna say it again. Flat as far as we can measure and tell. Where we're talking.
So the answer
Water
is
always finds its level, and therefore I can see it's flat. But wait.
So the
Here's
answer
the issue,
that
though.
you're
Wait, I will give you. You're not letting me give you my answer because I'm not done yet.
You've given
I'm not
it, haven't
done.
you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, go ahead.
Because
Go ahead.
now you could say, like my ex used to say, might be a super sphere. However, that doesn't work with your model, so therefore your model is debunked. So then I have a problem with that. So therefore, I believe it is flat. And I know it's flat.
You know it's flat. You know the shape of the Earth is flat.
Yeah. What else is it going to be, Jim?
Well, I don't know how you've got to that because you're flitting between two things.
No, I'm pretty sure
I
I
was
told you why.
expecting you to say, I'll be honest, I was expecting you to say, like most flat earthers, I don't know. I just know it's not a globe.
Well, why would I say that? That's stupid.
Well, because that's what all flat earthers say. Because
No,
if
they don't.
If they say it's flat, then they take on the burden of proof of establishing that it's flat. However, you were careful not to say it was flat, weren't you? You said, I asked you what the shape of the earth is, and you said it's flat as far as I can see. And I said, oh, I noticed you slipped that one in there, Stacey. Let me ask you the question again. What's the shape of the earth? And you said, it's flat as far as I can see. So you dropped it in again.
I've always
as we both know, as far as you can see, and the entire planet with all the countries that I know exist, then
Dem, you got to try to be more concise, bro.
That's a different thing.
Mad people want to get in.
They are two different things.
I went out right now.
And you are switching between them to avoid admitting that you don't know the shape of the earth. And my point being, you're taking the piss out of Twit because all she knows is that, and she knows one more thing at least than you on this.
No. I asked her anything of that model as well, and she gave me nothing.
Why do you think you're entitled to have her give you things?
Because she wanted to call me out about what the fuck I supposedly know. And if you want to listen. But if you want to be part of the debate, then be part of the debate. Do not just come in and go, Stacey needs to answer this question that Curve said. Yes, you did. Yes, you absolutely did.
I absolutely did not, Stacey.
So what did you come in and say?
I said, since Stacey's back, are you ready to answer Brenda's question?
I wasn't even back. I saw coffee me. Go back and listen to it.
You were back chatting it up with the boys.
I said one comment and said I'd be back.
You were just making excuses.
I had coffee and I still do on my clothes even. Give me a damn break.
You're just a liar.
You guys can't stop and asking me questions and talking about me so that I can't even go do what I need to do, and I don't even need to be talked to. You could talk to Jeremy or Kia and everybody, but you guys and Demok, but you choose to mention out Stacey B, and because you're here and you can't stand me and never have been able to like me, you want to attack me, and I know you do it every time. And this is why I call you out because she has called me names over and over first, and you also changed her name to Stacey wants me to kill myself, which was a lie. She's a lying little brat.
This girl has issues.
Stacey, they like you,
just
really.
So you know.
It's clear.
This girl has issues.
She's got issues. You got issues.
I did like Stacey until she went bananas.
Now you want to use my bananas that I use for Jim? You're so immature and you are so ununique. You're not even unique, girl. You can't even be unique.
Banana.
You need to use my own shit
You don't
that I made up for Jim. Against me.
You don't know me,
Are you bananas? Hey Jim, banana. Those people are bananas.
Singing, please.
Nutcase.
Stop singing.
That's a nutcase, Jam. Sorry.
Yeah.
She's a nut.
Excellent.
Right, shall we have...
wonder,
No, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Oh, it was just about Jen and Stacey. Are you aware that Jen thinks you were fairly banned from 24/7 for
no, guys, let's not bring this up.
Come on.
Why?
That's
you're
a
just
private
trying to
affair,
cause
really.
trouble, aren't you?
That's a private affair, really.
It's already been said because Riggs wanted to make it all public. I've already said my story, and I don't need to talk about it anymore.
That's right. You don't need to go there. Yeah, no need to go there at this point. It's not going to get. It's not related to the topography and the shape of the earth. That isn't a spherical ball.
Yeah, it's the most important thing, right?
He's right. Is what you said.
Maybe if you guys are really good boys, Jetty will be in here later with us. Maybe he'll come over and visit. I think he will. If you're good boys.
Right, shall we talk about the scientific method for a couple of minutes then?
Oh, why not? The thing that you don't like. Yeah, let's have some of that.
Oh, no, I love it. Okay, so I'm going to...
And again, I've got to do things. You can't just keep talking to me. There's so many people in here. It's flat earthers.
He's trying to talk to someone else. Shut the fuck up and you realize it.
Can't we talk about the scientific method then? Is that off the cards then?
No, you can. Go on, Stacey.
Okay,
Carry on, man.
so here's my first citation. This is from Erin Wood, coordinator of science education and NASA mission consultant at the University of Colorado. And she says there is no single scientific method. Okay, here's another one. This is from Nobel Prize winning physicist Percy W. Bridgman. And he says this. Hang on, let me post it. He says, science is what scientists do, and there are as many scientific methods as there are individual scientists.
Okay, can you give me the name of the woman? Can you give me the name of the woman?
They're not talking about natural science. They're talking about theory.
Can I give you another one?
They're not talking about natural sciences.
Okay, so hang on, let me respond to Rick here. From the physics teacher, I think physics is a natural science, isn't it?
Is that theoretical science? Or natural science?
Physics, I think you'll find
theoretical physics. Is it
Physics is natural
just
science.
Just
no, it
physics.
could be theoretical physics.
Just physics, not theoretical physics. Just physics.
So not natural.
So physics isn't natural science. Is that what you're saying? No, I didn't think it was. So from
theoretical physics isn't.
Okay, but this isn't theoretical physics, Rakia. You throw that word in, not me. Desperately are trying to avoid it. So
it
let's
sounded like the other people were theorists.
I tell you what, shall I just mute you, or am I going to get to say this? This thing that's not about theoretical physics, okay? From the physics teacher, not from the theoretical physics teacher, but from the physics teacher. Many texts teach the scientific method illustrated step by step. The idea that there is such a method, or that memorizing the steps can be helpful is an anathema to practicing physicists.
What a lot of rubbish.
Ian Hacking. Listen, one more. Let me do one more. I've got lots more, actually. Ian Hacking, philosopher and historian of science at the University of Toronto. Why should there be the method of science? There is not just one way to build a house or even to grow tomatoes. We should not... Shut up! We should not expect something as motley as the growth of knowledge to be strapped to one methodology. I've got one more. Last one. Last one. The American Association for the Advancement of Science. The nature of science. There simply is no fixed set of steps that scientists always follow. No one path that leads them unerringly to scientific knowledge. There are, however, certain features of science that give it a distinctive character as a mode of inquiry.
Okay,
so my point is there is no single scientific method.
Okay, hang on a second. Now, can I have the name of the woman who made that comment first? The woman what's her name?
Her name is Erin Wood.
Okay, so Erin Wood, right? You know what I'd say to all that? I would take Erin Wood's used fucking tampon and ram it not only down her mouth, but all the other guys.
We don't even hear anything else. Listen to that respect you gave that. Listen to that person there, Jen. Most respectful.
Where is he? What's his fucking name? Oh, there he is.
That's Jin, right?
Bye-bye, Jin.
So that's the level of flat earther honesty.
Yeah. I think what he was doing there was he had no response.
Why would you group all flat earthers like that? Are you sick?
Rakia, because listen, it's getting bad.
No, y'all listen.
Maybe
y'all quit grouping me into people like that. I never said. I know you were talking because you just want to justify what just happened.
I didn't group you into it, Rakia. All I said is maybe you want to look at it from what's left, shaking it out and seeing what's left. And then
maybe when Curve acts like he does, and I'll say, "Oh, well, all Globers act like that." That would be stupid, right?
Right, but if Curved represented a lot of what the Globers are like,
whatever,
every day. If Rizla or somebody like that represented all your Globers, you would have a point.
Hey, don't lump me in with Jen. I don't do what Jen just did.
No, not at all.
Flat earthers.
By the way,
you're one of them, Rakia.
Whatever.
You're one of Jen's crew, Rakia.
Are you
one of them?
Rakia? You hang out with him?
I don't know that. Who are you talking about?
Jen.
So Rakia, since it was my comment that pissed you off, it was my comment that pissed you off, you are free to, of course, redeem yourself and have a different sort of response opposed to Jin. And also, I don't actually like to punch people up into groups and say that you all are act alike, and you should know that. So my apologies.
Well, I'm just saying it's just ridiculous. We each have our own mind. We each say what we want to say. Flat earthers differ on many things.
Very rarely do you guys differ anymore, though.
So
whatever.
Yeah.
So what's your response to the question? Let's return back to the scientific method.
Which one? Which question?
What Jem said about the scientific method, I actually posted 2 quotes of my own as well. I'm not going to necessarily read them, but I looked into this question abusing my access to a university library, and the sources that I checked also say that there is no scientific method. For example, this one source, and scientists and historians do not always agree, but they do on this. There is no such thing as the scientific method, and there never was.
No, that's not what I've heard from people who study the natural world, natural science. I'm not saying physics isn't a part of that. I'm saying when you get into the natural study, it follows a strict method to prove and disprove things.
Well, go find us that citation.
Yeah, who told you that?
Yeah, I want to talk. That's what we can talk. You can look it up too. I mean,
but who are these people you're talking about? So we can do it. Who are these people you're talking about?
Well, you can talk to all types of different people. You can talk.
But I want to know who you talk to.
And they're going to say you can imagine a bunch of things. You don't have to fire.
Talk to?
Why are you cutting me off?
Because I want to know who you talk to.
So y'all wanted to ask me questions, and you immediately cut me off as I'm speaking.
Because you're not answering the question. The question was, who did you talk
to?
Don't mention a person's name. You're not answering the question.
Anyway.
Pretty
Just
simple
because I
question.
don't answer the questions like you want me to answer. You want me to give you a particular name, time,
You'd answer the question with the name of the person you talk to.
No, that's that. Yes, that's what I want from you. Can you do that for us?
No.
Can you give us a particular name?
No, I'm not going to give you a particular name. I just said that
Fuck, you're a
three times.
Yeah, because you don't have one. Right?
I'm not at your beck and call. No,
because you don't have one. Because you're making this up. Because you're just making this up as you go along, right?
So that method, we dreamed it up. QE dreamed it up, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, that's the only method.
Whatever,
Yes.
man. Y'all are in delusional land.
As the only method for which science is done, QE dreamed it up. Yes.
It's
I never
his
said
scientific
that was the
method,
only
isn't it?
method that science
Who
has
else
done.
came up with it, Rakia?
Never said that.
Who else came up with it then?
You think QE did?
Who else came up?
Hold on, just to be clear, let's be clear because it's sort of like, hang on. He didn't. We can certainly find references to his 4-step method if we look around. That come from sources that aren't.
None of which are QE.
But
yeah.
Hang on. This is the other part to it. This is the bit where he's making stuff up. The idea that this method is the method that all scientists need to follow, or it's not science, and everything that isn't and everything that isn't this method is pseudoscience. That's
maybe you need
that's
to
the
listen.
bit.
I never said.
However, that is what QE says, and
I don't care what QE said. Go talk to
at
him.
the moment.
You're talking to me right now, and you're putting words in
at the
my mouth
moment,
and making it look like and grouping me.
Rakia, at the moment,
it's funny how y'all bring it up.
Rakia,
yeah.
At the moment, we are specifically discussing the origin of this method, how it's being used in argument in this community, and that gets back to quantum eraser. I'm afraid.
No, we're talking about science. Jim.
Well, you're not.
Jim, listen, Jim. You listening? Listen, Jim. We're talking about science and natural science, and the scientific method that deals with natural science has nothing to do. Are you listening, Jim? Nothing to do. Listen, Jim, with QE. You listening, Jim?
I'll just mute this cunt.
Rakia, let me point out to you, you can tell I'm listening because I'm not speaking. You needed for me to say Rakia, because all the time I was speaking, you were trying to speak. I didn't do that to you, so it wasn't necessary for you to do what I did, was it? That was only necessary dealing with someone like you that can't shut the fuck up.
You muted me someone muted me while I put myself on mute a while ago. And then as you're misleading people about what you think I'm saying, I'm trying to interrupt you to save your words because it's stupidity, which is something I never said. Many different methods are used to reach a scientific conclusion, but in the natural world, they use specific reasoning and logic, and they work through a scientific method to come up with hypotheses and experiments to prove and disprove things. That's been known forever. It's still used today. I'm not saying other methods aren't used or shouldn't be used.
Shit.
Anyway.
It seems like you are saying that. You're saying other methods are used and can be used, but in this particular circumstance, this one method is used. That's what it sounded like you just said.
Yeah, because in the natural world, that's the best way.
Right, so you are saying that, and that's incorrect.
Yeah, in the natural world, it's the best way.
Look, everything's the natural world.
You cut me off.
Because everything's the natural world. There isn't something other than the natural world. It's all the natural world, right?
You're putting words in my mouth to say again.
No, you literally just said in the natural world as if it's some exceptional thing other than some other thing. All science is dealing with the natural world.
I've never said that.
What are unnatural sciences then, Rakia? What's a not natural?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, you can have all type of different theoretical.
You don't know?
observations.
You don't know what a not natural science is? You think there are these things?
Well, you picked up on the I don't know and then didn't listen to the rest of it, right?
Because I think you're trying to make some sort of exception that isn't there. That there's this special case where this method and only this method can be applied, and that I don't think that that's true. I think what I do think is true is I think that the conclusion has to be testable. You've got to be able to test it in some way, but that test does not necessarily have to be the quantum eraser's 4-step program.
Says it does, but that seems to be one of the better ways. So they've used it for years and years, and it's a proven method. You agree?
I haven't.
Yes, I would. It's definitely a useful method, but it isn't our only. It isn't our only route to knowledge, and it isn't. It isn't an exhaustive description of all of science, and everything that falls outside of its 4-step method is pseudoscience, and that is
which, if you rewind what I said,
but
I will, word for word agreeing with you. It's
okay, I accept.
Way,
okay,
the best
I
way
accept
in
that.
natural world. Yeah,
I accept that. I do feel it's necessary to keep stressing it though, because we hear that so often.
Anyway, you can do what you want with that, but do you agree that there's pseudoscience out there?
Yes,
it appears that,
but I don't.
What's the best way to stay away from pseudoscience?
You know, just looking at this, it appears that theoretical physics is actually contained within physics as a whole, and therefore is a natural science, Rakia.
Yeah, they're lumping it in more and more, and I think that's one of the bigger problems.
Go ahead, Rakia. What's an example of a pseudoscience?
Why don't you ask Jim? He agreed that there is.
I want you. You're the one who said it. What's an example of a pseudoscience?
I'm a lying dumbass. Ask Jim.
What's an example of a pseudoscience?
Who is this?
Scott Mackey. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm the one who always asks questions.
Right. You can ask Jim because he agreed it was. He's smarter than me.
So you don't know.
Remember?
So you don't know.
Whatever, man.
Which branch of science is pseudoscience?
Reword that question.
Yeah.
Really.
I think an obvious one I think would be
Geology.
Astrology. I was going to say
Homeopathy.
Or what was the one with the bumps on the forehead?
Phrenology.
Phrenology, yeah.
Utterborgs.
Interesting. The robot.
Scientology.
Scientology. I was going to ask.
Yeah, good one.
So, Rakia, when you say natural science, do you mean to separate mankind from the rest of everything else that is real? Are we separate from the natural world?
I think y'all are stating what we're trying to separate.
So, being part of the natural world, wouldn't anything we either make or use out of the ground or form into something else, wouldn't that be something natural that would happen because we're a part of the natural world?
He's not part of the natural world.
Well,
taking natural elements out of the ground and having man put them together and make something doesn't make that nature. Just
But
makes
it's
it man-made.
but if we've done it and we're part of the natural world, isn't that a natural thing for us to have figured out and how to do?
He's
Well, yeah,
intentionally
but there's a
conflating two
logical
different
separation
contexts of natural.
I know. That's
Well,
that's
I'm
why
not
I point. That's why I
trying
wanted to point it
I'm
out.
not trying to at all. I mean, there's natural. There's things
Well-
that aren't man-made, and there's things that are obviously man-made.
But
I
that
mean, go ahead.
even the stuff that we pull out of the ground, like if we take metal out of the ground and then smelt that and turn it into something else, like a chassis of a car, for example.
Right.
Just because we've changed its form, that doesn't make it any less natural, does it?
Well, it's made out of natural products, but it's man-made.
But again, we're still part of the natural world. So anything we do in the world is part of the natural order of things, right? So how is that
Right, but there's
unnatural?
obviously a distinction there. Right?
No, you can't
there's
make the
not.
distinction between one thing and another and try to say just because we made an artificial substance, it shouldn't exist.
Well, I don't get what you're saying.
Artificial
I can
substance.
distinguish between
Say, for example,
man-made
we created a diamond, like an artificial diamond. We still created it, but we made it with naturally occurring substances. We just processed it in such a way to turn it into something else. Like you can take iron sand, and the Japanese used to forge them into swords.
Yeah,
So
it's
just because
man-made.
something exists in one
The
form.
Japanese man made it. Yeah.
Can I ask Rick here?
Show me a sword in nature.
Rick here, are there any of the sciences that are currently normally considered to be science that you would consider to be pseudoscience? So let's say astronomy, paleontology, and geology for a start. How do they fare in your science, pseudoscience scaling?
I'd say astronomy would be the closest to pseudoscience, but I wouldn't call it a pseudoscience. I would just link it in the leaning towards pseudoscience when you say, I know for a fact this is happening because of this or whatever. I mean, there's just like the nature and natural, there's a distinction. We have logical inference, right? We can logically process. That's what humans do. So we can decipher that. By the way, how's my mic? Is it too loud or too low?
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, because they were saying I need to calm down. I didn't know if my mic sounded loud.
No, well, the point I was trying to make with that is like your computer CPU, for example, and I keep going back to this example because I love it. It's actually really good. A computer's CPU is basically a thinking rock that we tricked into, thinking by putting electricity into it. We had to flatten the thing out and put electricity into it, but that's basically what a computer's CPU is. So it's still natural, occurring elements and whatnot. We've just taken it, turned it into something else, and given it a purpose that it wouldn't have achieved just sitting there as a rock.
I get your point. Now, give you 1 billion years, how many years would it take for that to develop without man input?
That is the wrong sort of natural, Rikia. Stop it.
Yeah, what I mean is just
I
because
think that's where we differ, right?
Well, I mean, as I said, we're part of the natural world. So anything we do that interacts with the natural world is going to be natural. So your cell phone is a natural thing. Computers.
Science,
how isn't
that's
it?
computer science to me. It's not natural science.
Yeah, you would be arguing that computers are supernatural.
No, I'm just being honest. I believe that to be computer science, not natural science. You're not going to put that man-made process through the scientific natural.
That naturally existed. We flattened it out. We've put lightning inside the thing to make.
Who did that?
Mankind.
Who did that?
Mankind as a part of nature.
Right?
So why is that not a natural science?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's where we make the distinction. If man did it, right?
Well, I think that's where you're running into a problem because we are part of the natural world, and anything we do to interact with it is natural. So yeah, the computer, the phone in your hand, the computers we're talking on, all natural, all part of the natural world, all came from the natural world. We just figured out how to make the rock think.
Okay, well that's where we differ then.
Could we use science to determine what happens if I drop a computer off a house?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, it's not natural science, right? Because the computer's man-made.
And you dropped it off a building that man made. So, well, if, according to Rakia, it wouldn't. You're right.
What do you think, Rakia?
I don't know. I think I've made my point. I think we can distinct.
Yeah, you've definitely made your point.
Well, we just differ
I think
in the
that
way we
case
think,
would that case would fall under supernatural science.
Yeah, that would be supernatural to figure out what happens when you drop a computer off a house.
Whatever.
Crazy talk, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
I'm curious if you don't mind. You don't mind if I jump in for a minute?
Oh, please do, Nate. Good to hear you.
Thanks, man. I'm curious. Earlier, Rocky, you said QE is only saying what we've known as mankind for years and years and already employed. So my first question is, why does he feel the need to argue so hard for it if we're already using it?
Oh, I like that.
I'm about to go, but I think we all heard the distinction you twisted there, Negator, is we've known about it. Like,
Sorry,
totally
did you
not
just let
talking to you.
someone? Did you just
Totally
ask
not
someone?
talking to
He
you.
lied.
Did
He
you
lied.
just
He never
ask?
said we're using it. He
Can-
said applied it using it.
Hold on, Don. Did you
If
just ask
Rakia feels
someone
the
to-
need to
Is my mic on?
qualify or clarify his statement,
Hey,
Rakia
Jeremy.
can do so.
You
And
asked
yes,
us why
you
does he
might
fight
work.
so hard? If
Jeremy, just give Rakir a minute, see if we can get an answer out of him, then you can get in, okay?
well, all right.
Just give him a minute. Do you want to answer, Rakir?
I'm not sure that if the question was to me or to QE. He asked me something about if QE thinks this and why he does this. I'm not. That's not for me to answer. Ask
No,
QE.
my question.
Can I jump in?
No, Jeremy, you cannot jump in. All right,
wants you to divine QE's thoughts.
stay seated.
He
No,
wants you to
Rakia made a
divine QE's
statement.
thoughts. I don't know why.
Rakia made a statement, and I'm asking about Rakia's statement.
Reform your question then, because your question had a bunch of things about what QE thinks.
Well, no, my question was about what you stated, what you think. You think that QE is only stating what mankind has been already following.
Well, I don't get your question about what you're asking about, what I think about what QE is saying or thinking.
My question
I'm just
here.
saying I make a distinction whether it's man-made or made by nature or
Is that
natural
in a
process.
Okay, let's rewind
Take it
here.
however you want.
You were talking to the people in this forum as if they were dumb for arguing against
No, I
QE's
wasn't.
interpretation.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, well, what are you
And
doing?
Me and Jim have already come to the conclusion that we agree. We almost were word for word in agreement.
So
what are you talking about? Why are you jumping in? Maybe you caught the tail end of something. Maybe you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I see. I'm not going to be able to.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
That way.
Yeah. Maybe you sit down.
No, we're still talking, Rakia.
That's the type
We're
of
still
shit
talking.
that lands you on the next episode of Miggy's.
Because the thing is,
QE's
when I've spoken,
You never have nothing, Negator. You just always try and demean people. You're always above. Why don't you sit down a little bit?
Do you mind if I finish my sentence?
Why don't you tell Jeremy he can stand up and talk?
No.
Now, see,
Rakia, stop concern trolling. Stop trying to white knife for Jeremy.
Yeah.
No, I just don't like Negator.
Of course you don't. No,
Negator-
You don't like anybody who disagrees with you. prick.
Negator has been so calm in all the years that I've known him. He's never raised his voice as far as I've heard or anything. He's very calm.
Quit.
Right.
What?
What kind of dick could possibly not like Negator?
Okay, Negator gets a gold
Jeez.
star. Nice work, Negator.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
thanks.
no, I mean, you
you're
can't
great.
say that Rakia, you can't say that he's going to jump all over you or be like a typical,
He acts like he's
mean
better
guy.
than everybody else. He tells Jeremy not that he can't talk. He tells me I gotta do things, and you don't see anything wrong with that, Twit?
Well, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, okay. So maybe stay out of it.
Cool.
All right.
So earlier, Rakia, you took issue with being grouped in the same group as Jen, and you were being very literal about that. But the underlying, the premise behind the statements that my guys said or made was that you and Jen and Stacy and so on and so on act juvenile and adolescent in these conversations. That's the similarity. Jen's comments were terrible, but you guys share the same disdain
they
for
were
adult
terrible.
conversation.
You're being ridiculous. Your group, as you put it, your guys, as you put it, say and do things just as terrible. Don't you agree?
I don't care.
Exactly. What are you talking about? I just said I don't want to be grouped with that.
Right. Well, if you don't want to be grouped with that, then don't act juvenile.
Anyway, bro, you
Right.
got anything else to talk about?
Advice.
I do. I would like very much to talk
Telling me
about it
what
with
to
you, man.
do, instead of telling me and Jeremy and everybody else what to do, while other people support that.
This is the juvenile thing I'm talking about. You asked me if I wanted to talk about something. When I begin to speak, you continue to drone on about your hurt feelings.
Man, stop. My feelings aren't hurt. I just think you're ridiculous.
Okay. Well, let's go back to the scientific method that you're supporting.
No.
No. So you're not juvenile when you communicate with us, but you don't want to have this
No, I
conversation.
just don't want to talk to you.
Okay.
He does want to talk, though.
Yeah, he does want to talk. He just can't handle me. Just can't handle me.
I can't handle it. Yeah, go ahead and praise yourself. You high horse little twit. It's so funny, man. You can't help
Juvenile, sorry.
Yeah, this guy.
So, are there any better
there
flat
anything
earthers than Rakia? Because he's not up to the job, apparently. So, Jeremy, are you up to the job? Bummer.
No.
No,
Rakia might be a
I can't be fighting with
deceptive,
the gator to get a word out because it's all right straight over talking. It's crazy.
That won't happen. I'll make sure. Don't worry.
No, he
Yeah,
does
the
that.
game's going to start. People are going to disappear soon anyway.
Anyways, I'm home with my family. I can't be screaming at you guys today. I'll catch you tomorrow, though, for sure.
All right. Maybe next time, Rocky, you can tell me more about how water not sticking to a small ball proves it can't stick to a larger ball.
That sounds kinky.
Good one.
Yeah, that was one of those open deceptions that he employed. Realized he got caught.
Yeah, you got to make me a liar, right? Because you're not.
You did lie.
You're such above. You're so above everyone.
No, it's I don't know. It's weird, man, how you just don't want to talk about anything that the folks in this room want to talk about.
I've been talking a lot. I just don't want to talk to you. I think you think I'm bottom of the barrel, and I don't want to talk to you or anybody else like you.
So you don't want to talk to anybody in the room. You just want to talk.
If y'all think y'all are above others, then no.
Well, certainly above you.
Right, there it is. Let it out, son.
Everybody's equal. Stop it.
Exactly.
I don't think personally that I'm above anyone, but I have better arguments than some.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm above flat earthers. Sorry, but I am.
I can argue on other things better than you can, but I wouldn't hold that against you. I wouldn't think I'm above you. I just think I know more about that particular subject. Negator thinks he's above everyone just because he's Negator, and I think that's wrong. He thinks I'm such a terrible person. He wants me to go to hell. And I asked him if he believed.
Oh, you're going to hell for your lying ways anyway.
Right,
Let me jump in real
There's
quick.
another one.
Lying for Jesus.
I just real quick want to say.
There they are.
I just real quick want to say something what Jem said earlier about they're doing us a favor by talking to us. That's not true. I've heard the conversation in here when they aren't in here, and it sounds like I'm listening to an episode of the Golden Girls.
No, it's weird, man. Like, Reki, are there people that you
So
refuse to play
clever.
poker with because you get trashed by them each and every time you play?
Well, that would make
Sorry.
sense at least.
You want to talk poker? Yeah, I'll talk poker. Go ahead,
You want
Negator.
to
Tell
talk
me what
money.
tell me what you think the people around me are trashing me. What'd you say? Are you
No,
trying to demean me?
The question was, are there guys that you refuse to play poker with?
Are there guys that I refuse to play poker with?
No.
No?
Really? No.
No, it's pretty much an individual sport.
Right. So you don't play games that you can't compete in? Is that what you're getting at?
What are
Money-
you talking about?
money
I played all
talks, dude.
sports. You asked about poker.
You play that
Want to ask
one.
about football? Yeah, I'll scrap up with
He's spiraling, Rocky. He's spiraling.
you. Yeah,
You know, Negator, if Rakia is such a terrible person, then why are you so hell-bent on having a conversation with him?
Yeah, I'm such a lying dumbass. They want to ask me so many questions.
Well, it's fun to point out. Like you always tell us, you like to come here to expose
Yeah,
deception.
you're just here
right?
to demean people. Just what I said. I just exposed
If
you.
he's so terrible, it's
I
obvious.
mean,
then
we
what's there
could
to
just
point out?
hold a conversation, and it doesn't have
You're
to
just
involve
here
debate.
to talk down on someone you think is a dumb liar.
Well, no, you feel dumb after talking to me, and that's
No,
your fault.
You tell people that I'm dumb and that I'm a liar and that I'm going to hell, and then you want to ask me questions. It's weird, man. And then
It's
when I
weird, but
don't
the
want to
truth.
talk to you, you find that astonishing. Like, why doesn't he want to talk to me? I'm such a great guy.
It's not astonishing. I understand that flat Earth is very ego-driven, right?
Questions. I have such great questions because I'm such a better person than he is. Why doesn't he want to answer my questions? How stupid do you feel right now?
Man, you could concern troll a little bit harder. If you feel so unwelcome, get the fuck out.
How stupid do you feel right now when a dumb liar like me can make you feel and look like this in front of everybody?
I don't.
You're delusional, Rakia.
I got nothing but confidence. Rakia, I got nothing.
This guy has
Rakia.
I know you have nothing but confidence.
Rakia.
You think you're better than everybody else.
Rakia, I got.
something to tell you.
Listen, hey, hang
You're
on, man.
No better than anybody here. No better than anybody.
Relax. See,
I want
this.
to talk about how people make
my
their
gosh.
living. How
This
they
is Rakia who doesn't want to talk to Negator, Mike.
Yeah, he
not
wants to
talking
talk
to him.
over me,
But he
right?
won't
He's got to
shut
talk
up.
over me because he's got to make his point,
No,
right?
you don't have to say anything. You don't have to say a word.
Well, let him say some
I
stuff.
don't need
please,
anything
Rakia.
from Negator. I never need him. At
However,
all.
the rest of us do, and he has the right to speak. So at least let him, at least have a bit of a to and fro, please.
Yeah, that's. I guess that's what I'm talking about earlier. Is like people here want to hear interesting and titillating conversation about the topic at hand, not two people just butting heads, right? No,
you asked me.
And just so you know, I mean, I don't feel stupid. When I showed up, I get nothing but compliments. I really appreciate it. I'm not a smart guy. I don't know why I'll say things like that. But I'm not stupid either. But you're right. If it's not going to be entertaining, if you don't want to play ball, then I'll bow out. But if you decide to keep talking, I may just jump back in. Just a warning.
Just a warning. See you later, Negator.
Well, but
I did say I'd still be here, but
You've been
Rocky,
negated.
do you really think you made Negator look stupid?
No,
to
I really
anybody
think
here?
I proved that he's only here to demean people.
Prove-
and that's what
Negator
I
does
said.
that on
whom?
his own. Don't
Prove
worry,
to
Mac.
whom?
Negator does that on
Hey,
his own.
Jeremy, your family's waiting for you, Jeremy. Remember you pussed out, didn't want
Yeah.
to talk anymore after
No, he
trying
said
to
he
force
can't
your way
talk
into the
loud 'cause
fucking
his family-
conversation.
He said
And
he
now
can't
you can't
talk
talk.
loud. You don't listen, Kurt.
Remember?
He said he can't talk
No,
loud
remember
because
that?
his family's in the
So,
room. He
bye,
didn't say he
Jeremy.
had to go. He didn't
Hey,
say he had to
Rakia,
go.
can't
You
talk
don't
at
go
all.
listen,
fuck
Kurt.
yourself.
So
He
I
said
can't
he
talk
didn't
at
have,
all
he
now.
couldn't talk loud. He didn't want
But
to
I-
yell
Well,
over
why don't you talk to Negator? Why don't
because
you
his
do
family
that,
was in the
Jeremy?
room.
Instead of
Yeah,
trying
I'm
to
in and
jam
out.
your
I
way
can't-
into the conversation
It seems like
and then
you were
moaning
wrong
like a
again.
little bitch when somebody says, "Hey, wait a minute, let me finish this up with Rakia," and then you go and whine and pout and don't want to play anymore. And then a minute later, you want to come back in and start wreaking havoc again.
I let
You know
him
what I mean?
finish. I didn't whine and pout.
You're a bitch, Jeremy. You're a fucking bitch.
I waited patiently.
You're lying about your family and having to go be with them and shit because you're
He
still
didn't say that.
sitting
He didn't
here
lie.
being
You
a
just need him to
bitch.
be a liar to
And
make
you're
it
an
right.
over-talking cunt, Rakia. Go fuck
That's all
yourself.
y'all do is
Why
try
are
to
you
make people
spiraling
liars.
right now?
He didn't say anything like
I'm not
that.
going anywhere.
He said he can't talk loud because his family was in the room. He didn't say he had to go. Don't you listen?
Why are you spiraling?
Curve, are you all right, man?
I'm happy.
Yeah, you sound happy.
It does. So, Rakia, so do you believe that you've proven anything to anybody in this room? I'm curious how far this
I made
delusion
my
goes with
point.
you.
Yeah, right. So you're trying to tell. See, you're trying to tell the audience. You want me to come after you now?
Sure.
That's all y'all
Go
got,
ahead.
man. All y'all got.
I just want to know how far your
Yeah,
delusion
I
goes.
know. I'm a delusional, lying, dumbass that's going to hell. That's all
Do you
y'all
think anybody in this room doesn't agree with that?
You're
Yeah,
a bunch of small minds talking about people, just gossiping and
Right, that's
being
it.
dramatic.
I'm talking about. I'm talking to him.
Yeah, it's still small-minded.
You just called me delusional.
I did.
I want to
Yes.
see how delusional you are. You think we
I'll
don't
stand.
pick up
I'll
on
stand
little
by
things like
that.
Yeah,
I'll
I know, 'cause
stand by
that's all
that.
you got. That's all you have.
But
you
you-
have
you
to stand on that because that's all you. That's all you have. You cut in this conversation to say that you think I'm delusional and you want to find out how far it goes. That's so pitiful, man. You expose yourself. Yeah, you know.
To whom?
You're here for that too? Just like Negator, right?
To whom did I just expose myself, do you think?
To the audience.
To whoever's listening.
No,
Whoever wants to hear it.
Do you think if we polled the audience here right now, I would have exposed myself to any of them? Do you think they would agree with your statement?
You are kind of exposing
Gonna
yourself as a
agree with
bitch
me.
that likes to gossip and talk about like personal things.
So I'm just curious. Do you think if we polled the room, you think they'd agree with you, Rakia? Or does it not matter to you at all?
One is already agreeing.
What other people in this world think?
No, it matters.
Can we talk about ideas? Ideas that would help us figure out if we're on a globe or not?
No, we can't.
They want
Yeah,
to
well,
talk
you can.
about, they want to talk about me and Stacy and Jeremy's family and all that. They won't talk about nothing else.
Well, the world's around. There's
Percentage.
nothing to talk about. So the only interesting thing is why you guys can't see that.
There's nothing to talk about. Why the
Which
fuck
means we
are
have
you
to
in
talk
this
about
server?
you.
It's not debate flat earthers and more.
Pitiful, man.
I mean, I did specifically ask to talk about the scientific method, and then we got here.
Yeah, that would be interesting, actually.
But
Let's
that
go back to the
requires,
scientific method.
yeah, that requires somebody on the other side that wants to dance.
Yeah, and they won't.
Oh, yeah. There is that, of course.
Me and already talked about it, right, Jim? And now you're denying we did?
I don't think no one is denying that you had a talk. Rakia, can I actually make a comment, because I remember something that you said. You referred back to some sources that you have and people that see things differently, and then you said that we can do our own research and we can kind of find out. Well, the problem with that statement is people like me, to some degree, and Chempanda, we have already done that, and we have done our research, and we have good reasons to disagree with the stance that you take and Quantum Eraser take on the topic. So just saying, oh, you can do your own research about this, that's kind of dishonest, in my humble opinion.
I mean, you can have your own beliefs or go through whatever method you want to and come to whatever conclusions you want to. I'm fine with that. I'm just here to give an opposing view, and for whoever wants to listen can listen, and they can make their own decision based on that. When I post a video, I'm not telling you one thing or another about the video. I'm just posting it. You can watch it and come to your own conclusion. You have questions, you can ask me, or you can ask somebody else.
That's fair. So my personal stance on it is actually based on academic sources that I find in university libraries. Not Quantum Eraser, not Nathan Oakley, not even Chempanda or anyone else in this discussion, but actual academic sources.
Good for you. Like I said, you can take those sources and take your opinion, go do whatever test or non-test or think theoretically or logically and do whatever you want, come up with whatever conclusion you want. It's fine with me.
Yeah. It's not really my opinion, but...
Lori, I actually was, what I was wanting to get at with him was the nature of the actual distinction being drawn between whatever form of the scientific method he and them believe and the form the rest of the world has used to come to our current advanced position in the world. For instance, QE has told me in the past you can't use scientific method to predict where the sun is going to be, because you can't what do they like to say about the IV and the DV? You can't manipulate it, something like that.
Right. You cannot personally manipulate it, then you cannot test it, is what he says.
Correct. So, I would like to know from them or Rakia what has been accomplished using their version of the scientific method, or what version he believes in, what he thinks we can and can't do with it, rather than what actually defines it.
Okay, you can pretend somebody else asked you that question that you actually want to talk to and answer it.
Is anybody watching the game tonight?
Oh, I forgot about that.
What game?
The Super Bowl.
Before we go too far, could someone really answer Negator's question? That was a good question.
Negator's question?
It was a good question.
What was the question? I missed it.
Negator, can you go through that again, please? Because I don't think listen. That was an excellent question.
Negator, please answer the question.
Asking a question.
Yeah. What I first want to know what's been accomplished with this new version, which is actually the old version of the scientific method. Like, rather than argue how do you define it, but show us what you can do with it, right? I feel like mankind has accomplished a lot over the years, and either we've accomplished it using the correct version, which could either be many, according to what we think, or is specific to this one version, as well as defining what literally can you do with it. Because I'm getting mixed messages from the QE crowd.
We can't do any medical research with it. You can do barely any chemistry that involves complex reactions where time is an independent variable. Anything that involves a body too massive for you to personally move with your own hands is out of the way. You can't do fuck all with it.
Right. You can't, you can't measure how long it takes for a falling computer to hit the ground because the computer's man-made. So then my following question with these folks, if they decide to answer, would be, given that they believe you cannot do these specific things that we still need answers to, what should we do to draw conclusions from these problems we've got? And if in fact we have in the past drawn conclusions from these problems, is there like another word we should use for humans' ability to draw conclusions about reality? Like, is it just a word game that as long as we don't call it scientific method, we can use it and produce things? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yep, that made sense.
Yes.
To me.
But unfortunately, the folks that should be defending that aren't here or aren't willing to talk.
Right.
I'm saying in the chat that like 10 people have left in the past minute or so. I think someone said that they've gone to Jose's. Looks like the Earthers. Key is still here. Kima's still here. The Mock's still here. I think all the other ones left.
Poaching, man. He's poaching your viewers.
Damn, y'all. I have
Damn you, Jose.
I have a friend over, and I was listening in earlier, and it got juicy, man. It was like whenever I guess it was. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I guess Twit and Stacy were going at it.
Yeah.
I missed it. Stacy's banned from 24/7 right now. Then I guess.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I think so.
She should just make her own server.
She